What's up,
Whoa.
YouTube? Straight in this week. Straight into YouTube.
Nice.
There's no like, woo, we'll do that, woo,
You
in
should
a little
do
while.
clutter. Straight in, no lube.
What?
That's what's up. Oh, and you know what else we forgot? Since we just went straight in hard, you didn't turn on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Let's take a quick break.
People on Instagram should already know at this point.
They don't know.
I know.
We have to keep telling them.
All right.
Well, what's up, everybody? We're
My
here
phone's
this week.
dead, so that's
Oh
not
shit!
gonna happen.
Here's my phone.
Wow.
I know.
Anyway,
Well,
we're really ready.
yeah.
This
Oh,
is
man.
pro. Well,
Dude,
welcome
we're so pro.
to Clutter Live this week. Here we are in Beacon, New York. We're here with CZ13 all the way from England and the Maya Tanaka hanging in the back room. What's new, C's? What's going on with you?
Not a lot. Been doing a lot of Blender this week. Been making like nice fake fluff, and it's really satisfying. So that's been fun. Like rendering my new little figure that I want to do. And just really going to town on him, and like, just making him look like a perfect little toy with a furry hat, getting the lighting right, and
The hat's crazy.
Yeah, it's good, right?
Yeah. The texture's wild. It's amazing that you can do that now.
Yeah, really nice. So now I'm rigging him so we can have a nice little turnaround video of him.
That's awesome.
So been doing that.
Very nice.
How about you, Alex?
Yo, chilling.
In the back room.
Yo, back room is good. It's been a busy week at the Clutter, so which I know you know all about. We had that good opening the other day, which was awesome.
We did. We had the Glow Show, which maybe I'll show people around a little later.
That would be rad.
Yeah.
Cool.
Glow Show's
Yeah.
kind of one of my favorite shows that we do.
Yeah, it is awesome.
I like being in the dark all night with everything glowing. It just feels good and weird.
It's true.
It reminds me of the 90s in the best way.
We have some really awesome pieces on display for the Glow Show too. And we also have Krista Kepi's solo show, which is also rad. So maybe I'll show everybody that too. So the Glow Show looked awesome. Thanks, Danger Bot. Hello, what's up?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Representing.
Tell us what we're doing tonight.
Well, tonight we are first of all going to do a little bit of Clutter Talks and talk about what we're working on, what we have coming up, what we've been doing. And then audio is Ticky? It's probably your phone. And then we're going to have the one and only Mumbot back for part 2. And then we have an awesome toy tank too. And I know everybody just comes to listen to Alex sing.
Oh, yo.
That's
The
the
main
whole
thing.
thing.
Yo, do you want me to sing the whole episode? No.
Yes.
Oh
Yeah,
my
that would
God.
be awesome. We're doing a
So-
Glee episode.
Is that everything that we're doing?
Yeah.
You sure?
Is there something else?
I don't know.
Are we giving anything away today?
We should give something away. We should ask a trivia question and give something away.
Have you pre-prepared a trivia question?
By the time it comes time to do the trivia question, I will be ready.
All right, awesome. Well,
Okay.
audio has clicking and interference noise. All right, well, come and watch us on YouTube because we're not really on Instagram. Your phone sucks. That's that. All right, so this week we had the Glow Show, and as part of the Glow Show, we released the awesome Bog Squad Bog Dweller in this amazing pink
Oh, man.
glow vinyl.
I love this one so
It's
much.
so cool. Mixed parts, pink and yellow.
And Eric
Squad.
from Bog Squad was here. So if
Shout
you were
out, Bog
here, you
Squad.
got to hang out. It was awesome to be with him. So good, so excited. And we've got dope shit coming up in the future.
We do. I think there's like 2 or 3 of these left on the website. So if you want to snag one, now is the time to do it. 'Cause
Get
they
in there.
won't be there long.
We clear the carts and then,
It releases some
more.
every now and again.
There's some there. There's only a couple.
And we've shipped a lot of these today, so people will be getting them soon. And that's exciting because I'd love to see photos of people adding them to their collections.
And they're not just UV reactive. They're
They
glow in the dark.
That's cool. Can you just explain the whole cart system for people that don't really know? Because
Oh,
Yes.
As
shit.
an
Let's do the monkey and the banana routine.
I would love to do that.
Our
it's
cart
very
system.
strange because sometimes I'm an artist and I'm looking to see if my stuff's sold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Welcome.
it's sold
Fidget.
out, and then sometimes it's not. So what happens?
So the way we have our cart set up is probably a little bit different for everybody else because we try to do it in the fairest, which is impossible, way for the collectors. So we have a hold system on our website. So you can put it into your cart and keep looking at other stuff on the site for 30 minutes. And if you haven't checked out by the time the 30 minutes is up, it will empty your cart and release the stock. So that's why sometimes it won't say sold out. It will only say out of stock when they're all sold, but it will say, you know, currently in people's carts or something similar to that on the site if you can't get to it. We also have a queue system on the website, just like Cause's site, so that when we get hit by too much traffic, it puts people into a queue so it doesn't take the website down. What it does do is it holds people in the place that they were. So if you go to the website and you add this to your cart and then it puts you in the queue, that's going to be in your cart when it releases you from the queue. It doesn't just like take everything away. So it's really good that it does that stuff. So yeah, it holds it. So that's why we say, you know, check back in half an hour if you are looking for something particular, because some people do put things in their cart, sit on them, and then let them go, or put them in their cart, let them go, and then put them in their cart and just keep doing that over and over again for some weird reason.
Yeah.
So
But that's
and then
important.
occasionally it will hold the stock and we have to release it, but that's rarer. nowadays.
And that whole system is designed to be fair to the collector so that we don't oversell,
yeah,
you know, and so that if there's a one of one, multiple people aren't putting it in their cart and then
getting upset at the checkout.
right, and then discovering
Right.
it's not really in your cart.
Because some sites have that race to check out thing, right, where you get it in your cart and then you have to like check out the fastest, and then you might get to the end and you put in all your credit card information, you press buy, and then it says, sorry, this item's out of stock.
Right.
And that's worse, you know?
We
That's
think
totally
that's worse.
And it should be mentioned too that like the worst thing you can do in that situation is to start hitting refresh over and over and over, because all that does is crashes our website.
Yeah.
And so then people get pissed off about that. So it's all like
Right.
you just gotta trust the process. As they say.
You'll also, I think, maybe lose your place in the queue if you refresh too much, because it says like don't refresh, you're in a queue, and it holds you and then it releases you when it's freed up. So it only lets, you know, a few people at a time check out.
Yeah.
So yeah, follow the instructions and read what it says.
Yeah,
That's
if
my
we didn't-
advice.
And if we
If
didn't
you
have
are-
the
If you're
queue,
after a toy soldier and they look like they're kind of out of stock, just wait maybe half an hour and try again, because you might get one, you know.
Right. Sometimes you can be lucky. Yeah, totally. Totally.
And
But it also means that if you're on the preview list, you can put something in your cart. I mean, we give people a 2-hour window to look at the website anyway. So the way our preview works is we send out an email with the link and people can come and look at the website, but nothing's available to buy for the first 2 hours. So you're just looking and deciding what you like the look of. You can ask questions, you can, you know, whatever you want to do. And then when it goes live, then you have those half an hour windows. So you can add something to your cart and you still have the time to go and add something else to your cart, rather than just like, check out. Oh my God, that one's gone. Like, it's a little bit easier on your brains.
And also, honey is always better than vinegar. Like if you have like something that you're trying to buy and it's not like going through or whatever, you just hit us up, call us, send us a friendly email.
Yes.
You know, if like it's just like we're cool, you be cool, and then we just have this cool interaction.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, this show this weekend, we had, you know, a lot of traffic. So a couple of people called, and because we're on the site, whitelisted is the word that I was looking for, but I thought I'd take it to the next level.
go fucking next level, Miranda.
We're whitelisted, so we're always able to access the site. So if someone's having trouble with their cart, they're having trouble with, you know, working mobile or whatever, they just call us and we can take care of it from the back end, because we can see that they have it in their cart. So, you know, there's ways to help people if they're nice to us. If they're not nice to us, then we're not going to help you, because that's just
Oh man, that's harsh.
life.
That's life.
That's life. All right. Any more questions about the website, Susie? That's a good one. Thanks for asking that, because
Just
that's
thought I'd bring it up because, you know, it's good
Yeah.
for people to know, right?
it is. It's a good thing to explain.
Yeah.
To explain. All right. We're still on Clutter Talk. Should we talk about a couple more things?
Yes.
While we're on the subject of the Glow Show, let's talk about the fact that these arrived yesterday, which are Secret Demon Services, Akamatsu, Secret Demon Services,
Speculatron.
collab. And it's real cool. I'm going to actually jump onto this camera so that I can share a little closer. So these literally arrived yesterday. So they have to be photographed and added to the site. And I'm kind of excited to see how they glow.
Is that $5 just decorative or is it legit?
Yes, no, it's just decorative.
Okay.
It's something to do with the whole thing. If you understand it, you understand it. Yeah, It's really cool and it's hairy, which I love.
And he's making the position of the Yorkshire native with his face. Like he's in the no. I guess maybe that's not only funny to me because I'm from America. Is that not funny to you, C's?
It's funny because the Northerners.
No.
I'm not really a Northerner, so I don't really get it.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, fuck them.
Fuck them.
Fuck the Northerners, right?
Well, this got stuck in England. It got stuck in the mail because of the postal strikes. So it was sent Royal Mail and then was just in limbo. Nobody could track it. Nobody knew where it was. It was just there.
I can imagine.
So thank God they arrived and didn't just like.
Thank God. If you say God on YouTube, they demonetize you. They have to say the G word. Thank the G word.
All right, what's up?
What's up? We have some.
Hello, people. Thanks for joining us. Hello.
We have some sneak peeks.
Let's do a sneak peek. We're going to sneak peek first.
Well, this is already out on the table, so I'll talk about this first.
All right. You know who got it right? Miss Muju guessed.
Miss Muju knew what this was. I sort of showed this the other day or a few weeks ago. We've made our first wooden figure with Mars One. They're massive. They're called the Electric Monkey Man.
Gosh, it's heavy.
They're dope. And for those of you out there who may already know about them, the boxes for them should be here like tomorrow. So these will actually start shipping to those people out there who may already be in the know about them. And then there's going to be an actual drop in the not too distant future. They're massive. They're heavy. They're dope. They're going to come in different wooden colorways. This is the OG colorway. Making wooden toys was kind of
an eye opener.
It was a different world. It was difficult in ways that making vinyl toys weren't. So we definitely learned a lot, but we're really happy. They're beautiful. And thank you, Jeremy Cove, and thank you, Mario Mars One. We're really, really happy and so excited to have gotten to work with you. So we'll be posting more about this when it actually starts shipping, which should be any day.
What kind of wood is that?
What kind of wood is that?
Don't ask me what kind of wood it is. I have to look. Come on, why you call me out? Why you call me out, asshole?
That was good, Alex.
Why you call me out? I have it in my email. I should know because I'm doing the sneak. I should know. But you see, that's one of the variables with wood. It's like, well, what kind of wood is it? Whereas, like, I can talk about vinyl all day.
But that could be the trivia question today. What kind of wood is the toy?
And people just have to guess.
Yeah, nobody would know. They have no way of verifying. Alex, dude, just digging yourself a hole with me. We'll come back there later.
Do you want to talk about your piece for the show?
Oh,
God, there's so much beer on my legs, around my legs.
I dropped this bad boy. I call it the cotton candy.
Let me do my close-up cam.
Skelecan. He glows. He's pretty. I love him.
You should send me one of them. I like them. They're nice.
They're nice. They're like little cotton candy glow guys. I'll send you one, CZ.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
They're great.
And as long as we're on like showing American Grow stuff, I have another piece that I can sneak. That's gonna come out soon.
Hey, Alex, how do you make it so one screen is bigger than the others? I thought I did it. That's it. How did you do that? And then you just drag it.
You push the magic button.
That's it. I just wanted to be able to get it closer. That's all.
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah, I love the way these came out.
Okay. Now, while I have this up, why don't we talk about these three and we can have a conversation with the people in the chat. So for Cambot Series 2, we're going to be adding Gabby.
Yay.
Where is she based? South America, Argentina?
I'm gonna look it up so I can actually answer the question while you talk about Gabby. Gabby, you know I love you. She
made 3 hand-painted 5 ounces for us to approve for the series. So now we have to pick one. So we'll take a poll. We could actually put up a poll. But,
we should put up a poll.
I
know the answer already.
Straight away, it has to be a color one. I'm going to be honest because I've seen other designs in the series. So I think
match this one. Yes, I agree.
I think we need to take it out anyway.
Yes, so this one's going to be a no, but you can still vote for it. That's fine. This one. My pick is this one because it's really cute and we don't have enough cutie ones. So I love this one. It's all rainbows and sparkles and cute cats with 3 eyes, which is rad. So that would be my pick. And then this is your pick, right? This reminds me of My Little Monster.
My Little Monster?
Yeah, you know the plush that's in the cage?
Yeah.
And it's the colours, I think, more than anything.
I like that one because I know Gabby does the really nice custom kitty cat clocks, and that's her kind
The
of
back of this one is really cool.
But it is super cool. I think all three are just really, really great. So, and I wouldn't have a problem with either of the color ones. I think they're brilliant.
I think we have to put up a poll. I think to do a poll, you have to do it on YouTube. So I'll figure that out shortly. But in the meantime, you can just write in the comments, what should we call them? Pink, green, and black and white?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems good.
All
right, so you can vote. Which one of these would you think is the best design for Series 2 of the Blind Bug series? What do you guys think? What do you think?
I love cats.
I have to say she's done a really, really good job, and I think it was a great idea for us to send her pieces to actually hand paint, because that is her domain. And I think
oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. She was not comfortable enough to do it on Illustrator, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, and we can translate these. So that's what we'll do. Pink, I think pink too. So that's 2 for pink. Oh, green. That's
Green here.
3 for pink. 3 for pink.
Pink.
4 for pink. Alex, what do you vote?
Yo, I'm pink all the way. I love cats, and I love 3-eyed cats. I even have a 3-eyed cat tattooed on me. So
On his penis.
Do you have a 3-eyed cat tattooed on you?
Still on the side of his penis.
Yeah.
I saw it this one night. We're hanging out.
Oh my god, you!
That's cool.
Why do you always?
We're
have
supposed to
tell
tell
me?
anybody about that, Josh. That's cool. Here we are.
But I know the answer
To what?
to what kind of wood. The toy.
Oh wait, somebody guessed. Where is it? It's
poplar. Someone said poplar.
Yeah. Someone said poplar.
It's not poplar. Any other guesses?
Mahogany.
I will tell you, this is a hint. I, as a lay American, had never heard of this type of wood before.
Oh.
That's
So if you're going to be like, any of the woods that, bless you, that are like common wood names, it's not one of them.
is the wood that color? Has it been stained, or is it that color?
It's been stained.
Someone says pine.
Nope. That's a wood that I would know.
That's the thing.
That's
But we also got to vote for green.
That's a wood that I would know. So
Teak.
no, it's not
Is
that.
it teak?
No, that's also a wood that I would know.
Mahogany. Someone guess mahogany? I
No,
just like to
that's
say
no.
that.
Mahogany's really dark.
It is. It's
Okay, I'm
just
going
a
to say
nice
what it
thing
is.
to
Are you
say.
ready?
No. Is
Yeah.
everybody ready, or should we have people keep guessing?
We can go. Well, let's do. I'll do it at the end. I'll tell you at the end of the show.
All right, that sounds good. What else do you have over there?
I have this bad boy.
Nice.
So this is.
Do you want me to do my close-up
Yes,
cam
please.
again? All right, let's do it.
I sort of sneaked this last time, I think, but we're gonna drop the Death Dunny in black chrome,
Black.
which I'm really, really excited about. I haven't done anything like this before.
Oh, that's so
Bubinga, that's a great. You know what's really funny about that, Elliot? I was watching shorts on YouTube, and for some reason it came up with this, and I showed it to Miranda. It came up with a short about a baritone bassoon. What was it?
Yeah, bassoon.
It was like a baritone bassoon, or like a basso bassoon, or what? Some gigantic instrument. And what was special about this instrument is that it was made out of Bubinga wood, and I'd never heard of Bubinga wood until just like last night.
Balsa wood.
That's so funny. Yeah, this thing just floats.
So I'm really,
That's really funny.
I'm
So
really
do you
excited.
want-
I'm really excited
Tell
about
us
these.
more about this.
It's
Dunny.
dropping. It's going to drop on Kid Robot.
It's hand
They're hand.
sculpted by you.
Well, I sculpted
And
it,
then-
yes, but they're cast. Each one's
Yes,
cast.
but I'm just saying.
Each one's hand cast.
hand
and then-
sculpted as opposed to digitally sculpted. That's
Oh,
all
this
I
was
was trying to
told-
just
oh.
like. I'll be quiet.
No. You fool, Kimberg. Shut up. So anyway, these are going to drop on Kid Robot soon. Stay tuned. I'm really, really excited about them. I think they're really, really nice. So stay tuned.
And then we have a super sneak peek.
Oh, shit.
So what year was it that this started to happen? This is like, we talk about how our projects sometimes take like 12 years to actually complete, which they do. Like the Tara McPherson bust, the Lady Lips took forever too. This is another one that's been like in and out of production for various reasons. So when was this? We used to have.
I'd have to look at what year he won.
Where whoever won breakthrough artist, there's a two awards, got a production dunny.
Right.
And so we got a contract with Kid Robot to produce dunnies
in vinyl.
We could produce dunnies in vinyl. So we worked with Sad Salesman, who was that year's breakthrough artist, to design and create a vinyl dunny. So this is a sample.
It's really hard to.
It's hard for me to pick up. Oh, hang on, I have my fast cam. My fast cam, close-up cam of the Bubble Trouble, which is 3 stacking bubble dunnies.
How come it's big there? Oh, there we go. It just updated on my screen.
3 stacking bubble dunnies in this awesome iridescent. These are samples. This is not a final approved thing.
Right. And what's dope about this,
I do this
is this is the first soft vinyl dunny.
Yeah. So they're in
We had them slush cast.
I think they were the first sit-in dunnies for a while, but then I think they've
done stuff like that. Yeah. There was a lot about this that was going to be the first when we first started doing it, but then
lot changed.
So many things got derailed on so many things were derailed on this project in so many ways, in so many different places.
Yeah.
And
we're so excited to be bringing it back, and we're showing
it makes me it makes me so happy that it's actually happening.
Yes.
And I'm really proud of Eric, Sad Salesman, for hanging with it and never giving up on how dope the Bubble Trouble is.
So even though it's a 5-inch dunny and a 3-inch dunny and a micro dunny, they stand together about 8-inch tall. So they'll sit with Kyle's collection of dunnies, which is what was important when we created this. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it still had to look good on Kyle's wall.
Yeah. So these are really cute.
Don't you think that Kyle should actually somehow become like a completionist and have like one of every dunny? We could do it. We should make that a real challenge for him.
I love a little guy, and like that's the perfect little guy right there.
Yeah, and so they all stack, though they are precarious because they, we'll probably put a little bit of gel in with the packaging.
Yeah, we're gonna do little gel squidges.
Otherwise, every time you knock the table, they're all going to fall off. But it's really fun. You can sit them in different places.
Yeah, picking it up as like an object is really difficult. They do stand perfectly.
It sits on the ear too.
Yeah, no, they stand and they sit so well with each other. Just as soon as you start being like, let me show it to you, it just fucking falls apart in your hands.
Yeah. So there you go. 3 dunnies in the set, and they'll be coming out at some point in the future.
Very excited about that. One other point of order.
Go on.
I want to thank our beer sponsor.
Oh, you want to get close up?
Oh, you want to?
I just want to thank Industrial Arts. The wrench is the shit. Thank you so much. We're so proud to have it here at the gallery for our openings. People really enjoyed it. There's Alex's shiny face. I don't know if Alex, did you drink a wrench at the opening?
No, I don't drink anymore. I stopped drinking.
There you go.
You stopped drinking altogether?
Yeah. Anyway. I mean, I'll have a beer here, or like a soda here and there, but I don't really drink anymore. But can I do a little shout out?
Yeah.
For Bank Square. Bank Square keeps me fueled. Keeps all of us fueled. Thank you so much. I told the barista Jess. I told her that we would give him a shout out today. So thank you for everything you do, Bank Square.
Yeah, awesome. Jess is the best.
All right. So
also, thanks to the council for producing this water. Council
for the earth for making water.
All right. So I slam cut together a new intro today, which is like a bit from the Kickstarter and a bit from our intro. So I'm going to roll our intro, and then when we get back, we can introduce Jay to the stream. Right?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right. Cool. Everybody, get ready. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Josh.
And I'm Miranda, and we love toys.
We're the creators of Clutter, and we make toys with our friends. This is CZ. He's a UK-based street artist.
Hey, my name's CZ.
Ever since we met, we've been like PB&J.
CZ created the Cambot.
But wait,
Clutter's been around for almost 20 years. We started as a print magazine back in merry old England. 10 years ago, we first presented the Designer Toy Awards. This led us to create a home on the East Coast for the international designer toy community called 5 Points Festival, which we try to make the coolest party every year. There we go. At some point, we'll re-record that.
it's great to have an intro so that people have the context of who we are and what we do
Right.
and what the hell's going on here
Right.
all day, every day, without us having to remember to say it because we always forget to actually introduce
That's true.
ourselves on the channel.
And
So
when-
that's why we,
And when we have
that.
5 minutes, which is never, we'll re-record it.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe we can just add to it and pull it apart and stick
Yeah.
pieces into it.
Exactly.
No, that's cool.
Cool.
Exactly. All right.
So
now we're going to do part 2 of the interview with Mumbot because there's so much to talk to her about. We barely even scratched the surface last time.
Yeah.
But it was super interesting. So if you haven't
yeah,
seen part 1, go back and watch part 1.
Yeah. Pause this stream. Go back and watch part 1. We talked
I
about
think I linked it in the bottom.
we,
So,
we talked about like everything up to like comic book shops, and then we're like, we gotta stop.
yeah,
No, we got to like why she called herself Mumbot, and
we did.
so let's dive in and get back to it.
All right. So everybody,
She's been
welcome
waiting long
back
enough.
to Clutter Live. Mumbot, yay!
Sticker in the hot seat.
Yes, hello.
Hi. Hi,
Welcome
hi.
back.
Thank you for having me back.
You're our first guest to appear twice.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, cool.
Special
Set in
honor,
records.
I'm happy to be back.
breaking through. So 4 hours of sleep. That's the
Yeah.
new norm.
Yeah, for a few days now, it's been like that. So,
Cool.
Oh no.
So
I'll
you
do
were
my
saying
best.
you're prepping for a show at Roto Fuji.
Yes, I have a show opening March 11th.
That's awesome. And you also just released a new NFT project, right? A big.
Yep. I mean, I have this one's special because they're all special, but this one was the first Ghost Club official drop. Like we had a collaboration drop with All City Style Trains
Yes.
Yep.
in December,
Right.
which was really fun and awesome. But this is our first official, like our own drop. So this was the Black Book collection, which you can see in my background. This one was mine.
It's
Awesome.
Thank you. Yeah. We had 20 artists, international, like from all over, participating, and everyone crushed it. And it was a sold out drop. It was really good.
Congratulations. That's awesome. Do you want to jump straight in with NFTs or shall we back up a little bit?
Let's back up.
All right.
Let's back up.
Okay.
Let's back up.
Yeah. Oh, and I have a really funny story to tell.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to tell your story first? This is a funny story. It is a
Okay.
funny story.
Okay. So
We
Jade.
already realized this.
like
Whenever we texted you 2 days ago, and
I-
Josh texted me and you, and I said, I don't know who you just texted, but it wasn't Jade.
Oh no.
And I was like, what are
Yeah.
you talking about? I was talking to Jade the whole time I was in Miami on this phone number. And so then I went and looked and I realized what happened to me. Because we were in Miami at the same time, right?
Yeah.
And so on, I don't know if it was like Tuesday night or Wednesday night, whatever night, Ron was having his big party. And I'm texting to hang out with you. And
Oh no.
we didn't hang out. But I had a whole conversation, and I thought you were fucking high,
He's
so high. Like,
he's calling me and said, I don't know what's wrong with Jade,
Oh
but
my
he's high.
yeah.
That is
Okay, so
hilarious.
should I give away the conceit first, or should I just read the conversation I had with Mumbot?
Read the
First, I'm just going to tell you.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, are you here at the Mural Fest in Miami? And I'm like, me and Corey are here. We're in Miami. What are you up to tonight? And you write back.
You right back.
You write back. As you know, I love rap music and all of the ignorant lyrics.
Wow.
And I'm
But-
driving and texting you, but I'm not driving. I'm in the car. Corey's driving.
It's safe.
In your mind, you should imagine that I'm in the passenger seat and Corey's driving,
Okay.
whether or not that was actually what's happening. And so I write back to you, what? LOL.
Oh no.
And then Mumbot, in my phone, it says I'm talking to Mumbot. And Mumbot writes back to me, like rhyming just to rhyme. Pancakes, for goodness sakes. Types of shit. Really thoughtful and intelligent. Shall I read that again? Like rhyming just to rhyme. Pancakes, for goodness sakes. Type of shit. Really thoughtful and intelligent. And I don't respond. I'm so confused. And then you write back to me, yo, 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 I be in Miami and the weather is clammy. Chowder like New England make me want to be louder. So, yeah. And I write back to you, word up, sister. And then you write to me, word to your mother, brother. Probably gonna pumpkin squat and get my freak on, sheesh. And I'm just like, so I write back, me too. Because what else do you say? And then I write to you, gonna pump it up and squash it down, keep it real, and bring it round town. And then you say to me, exactly.
Nice.
And then your next rhyme is pump it up and put it in and smack the brown dog banging. Miami, I can't read this next part. This part's totally racist. And I was like, whoa. I just sort of ignore what you write, and I write, smells like clams, tastes like chicken, got shit to do, ain't trying to finger lick in. And then you throw me like a laughing, crying face, and you write, KFC, you see, my flow ain't no hoe, extra crispy, I be thrifty, Popeye's my guy, drop the mic. And I didn't respond to that because I was like, I don't even know what the fuck we're talking about. I'm so confused, and I just turned to Corey and I'm like, I don't think we're hanging out with Mumbot tonight.
Oh my.
Like,
And you know Corey.
he's like, I don't know what's wrong with her. I think she's hot.
And so I started texting him around. I'm like, Mumbot's fucking high. She's on drugs. I was like,
don't
and you were like, I don't think she does drugs like that. I'm like, I don't think she does either. But hey, man, all bets are off in Miami. Like, who knows? And so then it wasn't until
2 days ago.
I texted you and I started a chat with Mumbot in my phone, and your other number is under Jade. But so I just type in Mumbot and Miranda, and then she's like, who the fuck are you talking to? And so I pull this up and I go, look, I was talking to this person. And at the beginning of the text that I didn't see, I go, hey, are you here in Miami? And the person writes, wrong number. But I didn't see that.
So I just felt like, this says wrong number, you idiot.
And then I was just like, do you want to hang out with me and Corey? Like, I totally blew past.
Oh my god.
I thought you were fucking high. I don't know where. I wanted to hang like it didn't happen. Anyway.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I thought you lost your fucking mind.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good story though.
Yeah. Thanks.
Pretty.
It's pretty stupid.
Yeah. Imagine if they really did hang out with you though. If that person met up with you.
It would be funny if they'd
Actually,
been like,
Miami.
oh yeah, meet me at Wynwood Walls at blah 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 corner or whatever. Like, let's get some tacos, and I'd be like, I'm there, bro. Like, then who knows? They could have carjacked us. Who knows what happens in Miami?
Oh god. Yeah.
Right?
I can rhyme better than that person.
I'm sure
I
you
hope
can.
so.
Yeah.
I thought my rhymes were tighter than that person's. They kept like the ending of their rhymes were a little weak. They'd start off strong and then it would fall off pretty hard.
It's true. True. So how was Miami?
It was really cool. It was my first time in Miami, and yeah, I wish I would have seen you guys. That would have been awesome.
I tried.
You tried. You really tried. Yeah, I had a lot of fun because it was really like, first of all, my schedule was insane, and it was my first time really like understanding. So I figured it out, but it took me a couple of days. I didn't really understand that once you hit like South Beach, it's not easy to get back to the Wynwood side, and vice versa.
You have to keep crossing over and going around. There's no straight through street.
And then there's traffic for like an hour.
And then there's traffic for like an hour. Right.
Right. So once I got the hang of that, it got easier. But the first couple of days, like my second and third day were both kind of brutal because I had like event after event after event, and I was like, that, like, I think it was like the second or third day where I just should not. I should have just planned it correctly, and I didn't, and it was rough.
How would you describe Wynwood? Like, you've never been there before. You've heard a lot about it, I'm sure. Over the years, everyone raves about it. How would you describe it?
Just like art everywhere. I mean,
what was your impression? Because I saw it for the first time this year too. I didn't go the last time I was there, and so I thought I came up with a pretty like nifty way of describing it to people.
I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't really. I don't know. I just went with like around like all the murals and stuff. I didn't really.
Wasn't it kind of like the apocalypse happened and people put street art on it?
I could see that.
It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Is that just Miami in general? Or?
No, specifically Wynwood's like almost like a devastated area.
Oh.
Really cool though.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool and like inspiring because you're like, holy shit, this actually functions.
Yeah.
Like, and then did you see the shop where they were serving gelato on swings?
No.
On the main street, this place, it was like someone spent $1 million building a gelato shop and put swings in, so you sit and you swing while you eat really expensive gelato.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Yeah.
We didn't go into it because we're haters, but
because we like two guys gonna go sit and
me and Corey are gonna sit.
And each other. That would have been fun.
Yeah.
I like gelato. I don't know if I can eat gelato. Can I? Does it have non-dairy gelato?
I think they have non-dairy, but I don't know.
I think that Italians would think it's sacrilegious.
That's something else, right?
Sorbetto.
Sorbetto. Yes, you can have sorbetto.
There you go.
I have to say it correctly. All right. Let's back up.
All right.
Let's back up.
Do it.
So you were hanging at our house maybe 2 years ago. In the pandemic, you came and hung out with us. And you're like,
was it before the pandemic?
I think it was during
after.
Was it?
It was like it was after because it was when it was opening up here in New York. And
okay, so you'd come back.
Yeah, I had.
Well, we haven't even gone to Thailand. Have we?
Oh, we skipped going to Thailand.
No.
We
can go back.
We talked about it.
We talked about Thailand, right? Because I was the one who's on the phone with you when your son threw the shoe.
Yeah, I love that you remember that. That's so funny.
I'm specific.
And it landed on someone's roof. Yeah.
That's right. So you were sitting on our porch and you're like, NFTs, man, you got to get into NFTs. There's a whole scene happening. And I'm just like, nah.
Staring blankly.
Nah. I'm like, oh no. At that point I was like, that sounds interesting. And me and Miranda are both looking at each other going like, oh my God, is this real? Wait, what did Dangerbot say something about Wynwood?
Wynwood is rad. It was a rundown industry area that was depressed and kind of abandoned. So it's a really good description.
Thank you. Thank you, Dangerbot. Validating me. So you then went on, like, we left that conversation. We didn't do anything together. And 5 minutes later, you created a whole world. What happened?
Well, I had actually.
You left our house, and what happened?
Are you talking about NFTs still?
Yes.
Okay, so like I had actually been in the NFT space already while I was still in Thailand. And actually to back it up a little further, I picked up my first crypto in 2017.
Okay.
And the story behind that was actually from a collector picked up a piece called Wizardly that actually I hadn't sold and it had shown in the Cotton Candy Machine. It was in their Brooklyn Biennial.
Yeah.
So that piece sold to a collector, and when this collector bought it, this was after that show. So it was like it didn't sell in the show, it sold later. Mm-hmm. And that collector said to me that he had just done very well in crypto and that he wanted to invest in some art. So he picked up that piece from me. And I think I remember thinking like, oh, that makes me feel like I should invest some of this into some crypto for the first time. You know, I've kind of been interested in it a little bit. I had some friends who, you know, were into it. So I did. I picked up a tiny fraction of Bitcoin, a little bit of Ethereum, a little Litecoin, and some other little microcurrencies. Anyway, I fast forward, I didn't do anything really with it. And in fact, I think it was like 2020. I had some friends who were kind of doing, you know, dabbling in NFTs. And I remembered the previous year, the banana tape to the wall thing in Art Basel.
Yeah.
That was like 2019, I believe. And I remember thinking, oh, that's interesting. So I kind of had my interest peaked about this thing that was sort of like bubbling. But it was 2020 when I had finally like really been thinking about it, and I had some friends dabbling, and then me and my husband have a buddy, and he was working with this friend, and they were working on like a music video, and he does motion graphics and 3D 3D. He's a 3D artist and a game developer and all these other things. And they were talking, and then somehow during their conversation they started talking about NFTs, and then I just kind of like butt in because the conversation got to a really interesting segue, and it was cool because he was talking about, you know, how excited he was, so excited for how NFTs were opening up the world of like for like digital artists to finally have their moment to shine, you know, and you know that's a big deal, right? Mm-hmm. So like to have like people be able to buy a piece of art that has only ever existed virtually or digitally, it's really special, you know what I mean? It was definitely a moment. So like he was super excited, and he was kind of talking about that. And then he had I remember very clearly, he had kind of said something that made me like, you know, go, well, you know, he had said sort of a thing that was a little biased, you know, and I was like, oh, well, but, you know, yes, I love that, what you're saying. I love that about it. And then also it's for everyone. It's not just for the digital artists, and it's not, you know, I get it. It's also really cool about that part, but it can be literally anything, right? An NFT can be anything. And so we got into this whole discussion, and I was, and I really liked the guy, and every now and then we'd talk. And so I think at some point in like maybe December/January of that time, my husband suggested that we collab, and we kind of had already like, we had all been talking about NFTs so much that we were like, yeah, that would be really cool. And so we started to plan a collab, and that was my Genesis NFT, which is called Mycelium on the Block. And it's a collaboration between me and Cyrus James Kahn, and it's an edition of 3. And it came with a physical. So we bundled this NFT on primary sale with physical. So I had a special colorway of Shumi Mashrumi Safubi that I called non-fungible fungi.
Nice.
And
it wasn't this one, but this is just an example of a Shumi.
Yep. And I had, so it came with that, and it came with a physical print. And yeah, so that we were really happy with it. We were just like really proud of the work that we put in. We spent a lot of time on it, and then we pretty much accepted that like it's possible it might not sell, or it might sell like a year from now, you know, and that would be fine. So we were like just really wanted to get this thing out. And then it's so moving forward, I had basically used like half of the ETH that I had from 2017 to help mint that piece. And at the time, the gas fees, the deployment fees and the gas fees were very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So it took like half of the ETH that I had. And then the next piece that I put up was my solo Genesis piece, which was on Foundation. I had a Foundation invite from Joshua Davis, who's like a legend in this space. he gave me an invite to Foundation, and I used the rest of my Ethereum to put my own like piece up. So it was like an animated piece of Girl from the Forest Floor and a ghostess in like the forest. So that also meant that I could no longer mint anything else until I made some kind of a sale. So in the meantime, what I did was I spent a lot of time on another blockchain called Tezos, and it's different. It's a proof of stake. So there's proof of work and proof of stake, which is a different form of transaction type, and it's considered at the time before the merge. It was considered like the more eco-friendly option. So I pretty much spent months just doing stuff because someone just gave me some Tezos, and Tezos at the time was like $3. You know, one Tez was like $3. So it was also the barrier to entry was very appealing, which means a lot of artists could participate and collect each other, and it became a very like artist heavy community. So like, how do I explain this? It was like artists collecting from other artists a lot of times. And I think by the end of that summer, I had collected maybe 200 pieces from different artists. And I had never had to like, I was given Tez, so I was able to mint my own pieces, and everything I had collected was from pieces I had sold, basically.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really, really awesome. But it was also learning how to talk about your art, learning how to build community, learning how to educate others, and just like a lot of the ethos and whatnot that I share and I continue to do to this day has to do with
Oh no.
like
We lost you, Jade. Uh-oh.
There
am
you
I
are.
back?
Oh, we're back.
Am I
You're
back?
back.
You're back.
You're back.
You're back. You were saying where we lost you. You were saying that a lot of the ethos of how you operate now is
Community.
from what you learned on.
Yeah, so it was from the Hicket Nunk was what the name of the marketplace was, but it was the Tezos community, and also it was the people who kind of onboarded me in. So it was like Joshua Davis and my friend Cyrus, and yeah. So yeah. Anyways, that was, and around that time was when I came back. So I was like, I think I was at your house before I had even had anything sold on Ethereum. So when I started to really have success on Ethereum was maybe 5 months later.
Okay.
That would have been like end of July. I remember I had just done a big a space, like an online audio chat app kind of space to feature artists from Thailand, and I had me and my friend from the NFT Catcher podcast, we were co-hosting together a space to like uplift all these artists from Thailand. We had a translator and everything.
Right.
And it was awesome. It was a huge success. There were like at least 200 people there.
This was before Ghost Club.
Well, so Ghost Club was the first thing I did when I got on Clubhouse, like early 2021. Before I knew anybody, I created a club called Ghost Club, and I had a Mumbot World Club and a Ghost Club, and you know, the purpose of Ghost Club has always been the same. It's to connect with artists and uplift artists from around the world.
Right.
That's never changed. That was my
Is
intent.
Clubhouse still happening? It's so pandemic when you say that now.
No.
It brings me back to like this moment where like I just remember getting alerts at like 4 a.m. that like Greg and Lamore are talking on Clubhouse at 4 a.m. and I'm like, oh, I'm just a piece of shit that's gonna sleep, whatever. Anyway,
we were on that thing a billion hours, you know, and so I just joined a lot of clubs. I was in this NFT Asia club, There were some like kind of underground art groups that I was in.
I never used Clubhouse, but it was like an old school phone system, right? Like where you'd call in as
like
a group of people,
like a party line.
Like a party line, yeah.
Well, today we see Twitter Spaces as
Right.
the thing that replaced Clubhouse, but to this day, Clubhouse still has better audio quality than Twitter Spaces, which is kind of funny. But so there were things that I loved about the format of Clubhouse, and then there were downsides as well.
Why did Clubhouse go away?
Well, I would say that when it came out of beta mode, it's like the floodgates kind of open up, and I don't know, it just kind of changed the culture of the app, in my opinion. And then there were other things about it, you know, it was just like, I mean, there's still people there. There's still like every now and then I'll pop in and I'll see some old.
So Clubhouse is still going. It's just sort of interesting to us as like sort of vaguely techie people. Miranda's extremely techie.
No, I'm not, because I have no idea about half of what you're talking about.
I have devolved. There was a point in my life where I was very tech heavy, and I'm devolving into like an ignorance is bliss state around tech. I'm just like, what's a button? How do you push a button? Like,
you're aging out.
I am consciously aging out.
So when did Discord become a thing?
Well, so I joined Discord too around that same time, because it seemed like, okay, for further information on some of these communities that were happening, you needed to be on Discord. You had to learn how to use it.
Which was already big for gamers.
Huge for gamers. My son, who's a teenager, was always on Discord.
Right.
And so he was like, I felt weird suddenly using Discord at that time. And a very embarrassing story is that at one point, I think I had my Discord open, and like I didn't know I always have like 100 tabs open, and it was a tab, so I didn't have the app. I just had it as a tab, and it was like I was unmiked. I don't even know what chat I was in for like a month, and I kid you not, I didn't even know like what the sounds were of the app, so I would get this bloop bloop all the time, and I would be like, for a month I'd be like, what the hell is that sound, like what is that? And it took me months before I realized, oh my gosh, I've been in Discord this whole time. That's weird.
Were you doing inappropriate things while it was open?
No, I was probably like yelling at my son to like stop cursing in Fortnite or something, you know, at the time. Because he was in my office at the time, in my studio. So because I had the best internet in the building. So yeah.
That's a lesson.
But like, so my favorite clubs were the clubs that were doing co-working. And so like we would sit there sometimes, like, you know, me, Lamore, Frank Kozik, like
Greg
sometimes. He came later, I would say. But there was like this outsider art group, the Outsider Art Collective, there was the Lowbrow Art Collective, and there were all these different artists from all over that were hanging out in there. And there were a bunch of other clubs I was in as well, but those were my favorite because people would sometimes just sit quietly and be painting or drawing. And what we would do is we would do this thing called PTR, which stood for pull to refresh. And we would just kind of like, hey, can you guys check this out? Does it look like, are my highlights good? Like, what do you think of my composition here? You know, like,
that's awesome.
It was awesome. And like, we learned so much from each other. I would like get tips from Frank, like, yo, you should get this red handled knife because I was doing cut and assembly on my Sofubi, and like literally, look, I still use it to this day. Nice. Like that's the one I use now. So, you know, just like from like paints to like, you know, techniques to like just whatever. And so anyway, when Ghost Club was evolving, we were working on, I had my own Discord, which is the Mumbot World Discord. And it was filled with a lot of artists, as well as like people who were fans or collectors, or just like, you know, just a really cool community members, and also a lot of artists. So a lot of artists were in my community, and it started to feel weird to be like, hey guys, like, in my Discord, you can only share your art in like the show your art channel.
Right.
Especially because like, you know, I want to support like artists more like than that. So when Ghost Club, we had like a Ghost Club Discord, sort of very small. It was just like our smaller group, and it was people that were also, we were helping. We were kind of like advising, we're giving them you know, best practices, like how to get started in the NFT space and stuff like that. And then like it was growing. I think we really realized, okay, we got to like get this together even more than we had it. And you have to be careful with Discord, right? Yeah, if anybody hasn't already gone on Discord, it's like, I mean, I give like so much cybersecurity tips all the time, because I just don't want anybody to get scammed or anything. So if you don't know how to use it, you should definitely like just speak to somebody who knows and is familiar with it first. But yeah, once we were ready, like we opened up that Discord, and it really just took off, and it's been just an evolution. It's been like a huge evolution ever since. And I would say like 2022, early 2022, it was really when like it just started to like grow a lot bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we do these art shows now. I mean, we have a website coming up soon. We have a lot going on. We have live events now. Yeah.
That's great. So how did you find the time to do all of what you just expressed? Like, how were you on Discord and Twitter Spaces and all these things all at the same time, and manage working and helping people and growing a community and with kids and a life?
Well, so luckily, like around, I would say October or November I would say November was really when, like October, November, my husband was like, Defiant is his moniker. He was really like ready to like go all in on like helping with the community management and everything for that. But not only that, but like being a co-founder and really like wanting to take it to the next level. And that's what I also needed, right? Like I needed somebody who wanted to do that. Like, you know, this is a you need to love it, right? To put that kind of, we're doing this like 24/7. So, but in addition to that, like building my own brand and doing all my own artwork and doing all my own back end stuff. And yeah, it's a lot of work. So, and then I would say right now we do know that we need more help, but right now it's a small team. We have a little bit of help from certain members of the community. Like Cyrus is my that friend I mentioned earlier, who's also my collaboration partner. My son helps with editing some of our videos, and we have our buddy Mathematics, who helps with production on some of the merch, like on for right now Mumbot World related stuff. But that was all new to me, like having more hands on deck. That was a transition for me. I was, you know, it wasn't easy. Like, you know, I think anybody who's kind of a little bit like what's the word, OCD,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you like to have like, you know, confidence in everything that you do, and sometimes you have to like give that confidence to somebody else to like handle certain things. I think that's been really helpful to like learn how to do. I'm still working on that.
Yeah.
Real
Yeah.
process.
That's a difficult one. So how have you seen the NFT space change in the last 12 months?
So I would say so luckily, since I was in the space before, like last year, so I was in the space, I saw like a bear market before. So I saw like the wave of where I saw the hype wave, and I saw like the crazy, you know, stuff that was happening with like Nifty Gateway and Beeple and all that stuff. And then I saw like those people sort of start to just drift away, and the hype died down. And like, you know, people who stuck around, it was like, I remember who was still around. I remember who stuck around, and I remember when the waves of people started to come back, and I remember when you know, things started to get really crazy and like woo 2021. And then like I mentioned that I had like quite a bit of success at that point. And that was like not expected. It just kind of happened. So, I mean, you know, what would I say, like August? No, July, end of July to August, I was just like finally like my work was going, being, you know, and I was just, it was like selling out every time I had a drop. And then it was like September was when Gary V just tweeted out that he saw my work and he called me on FaceTime. And that was a really funny story because I was like having my breakfast and coffee and like I saw a DM from him and I just didn't believe that it was him. And I almost just like closed it. But then I was like, oh no, there's a check mark. Oh, and this is before you could buy a blue check, right? So
Right.
I was like, oh, hi, you know. and then he was like, hey, can we jump on a call? I really like your work and stuff. And then I was like, oh my God. And then like it hit me that it's really him. And I was like, okay, I have to go brush my hair. and he was like, okay. He's like, well, but my hair is messy too. And I was like, no. I was like, please give me 5 minutes. And so like I rushed to like go, I was in my pajamas, you know, I had to like rush and like change my clothes and like do my hair real quick. And then it was really funny because I put on like some perfume and my mother-in-law, I heard her go, they can't smell you through the phone.
I do the same thing though. I do the same thing. Every time I do one of these, I feel like I have to put perfume on.
It's a mindset thing.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, so we jumped on a FaceTime and what happened was we not only did
me and Tanaka have a totally different thing that we do.
not wearing perfume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes we get the deodorant on, but that's about it.
You know.
That's funny. But yeah, so that was a pretty momentous.
Turn my underwear around. Just joking. Sorry.
It's all right.
Sorry.
Right.
Go on.
Yeah, it was a pretty momentous event, you know, because he actually ended up collecting those two pieces, those Genesis pieces of me and Cyrus, and he picked up a bunch of my other like NFTs, including Wizardly, which was that piece that I mentioned was my.
Right.
It's special because it was also the piece that got me into crypto back in 2017. So it's kind of like, and I didn't even tell him that, and which it didn't occur to me till months later that I never told him the like significance of that particular artwork, that's the image he tweeted out. And I still haven't had a chance to tell him, which is weird. I keep forgetting every time I've spoken to him, but eventually I'll talk about it. But yeah, so moving forward, you know, that was great because it was a big learning experience, like how to manage like when there's a bunch of spotlight and hype, and then when that dies down, and how you just have to like keep forging ahead. Like, you know, why are you here? You're here because you like to make art. Like you like to make cool shit. And I'm still here to make the cool shit that I was planning to do. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm still building the same fucking way, no matter what, with or without the hype. So that was it was also cool because I would say that, you know, just continuing to kind of do things that I had planned to do, I would see, oh, he would still come and like collect stuff, which was really cool. But like, you know, maybe it wasn't as hyped. So like some people weren't noticing, which is fine. You know what I mean? It was like not about that anyways. And then like, you know, fast forward, I think we had, I did decon. What else? I think then like there was a big interview. So I also wasn't expecting that. So that was like months later, and I had a big interview with Gary. He asked me if he could interview me on his podcast, and so I did that, and that was huge. That had like 7,000 people in it, and I was super nervous, but it went really well. And I would say that was pretty like much the big difference for me. It was a big differentiator because it just really changed like what my work was going for before previously, it was kind of like a big change. And so that made me structure some of my collections differently. So I had to I wanted to continue to have some collections that were accessible. So I had moving forward, I created a collection that could still be accessible, and it was about focusing on my process, and that's still one of my favorite collections. It's my sketchbook collection, and it you can still see the blue pencil, and I leave stuff that normally gets cleaned up. And so yeah, it's really fun to also add maybe pieces that normally never see the light of day, right? Like something that you sketch on a napkin at the restaurant with your family, or something that's on a menu. You know what I mean? All these little things that normally, right, you don't see stuff like that in an art gallery. You're not going to submit that for a show. But also maybe it's not archival. Maybe you drew on something and you burned it, or you spilled stuff on it that is like coffee, but it looks cool still. And as a digital collectible, someone can own that forever. You know what I mean? So there's some really special things about the technology, in my opinion, like that is really cool. And I'm super into not limiting yourself, and really as artists, these tools that we have available, utilizing them,
Yeah. Do you still tie to physical objects, or only once in a while?
Yep. So I started making I have a couple of my own smart contracts. Like one of them is called Mumbot Metaphysicals, and those are all tied to a physical item. I have a one of ones collection, and then an editions collection, and I just did I had a big sold out drop as a Coinbase NFT launch partner in end of October, which was really cool because it was the first drop was 15 original artworks that I created analog, on canvas. They were paintings. And I spent the summer of 2022, spring, summer, doing another collection also, where I was doing one of one paintings on canvas, and the person who won the NFT would get the physical painting. That was just like my regular Mumbot smart contract. So then for this other thing called 100 Ghosts, because it's all a ghostess themed, what I did was I did editions of 15 original artworks. Each artwork was an edition of 15, and it was really cool because I did a raffle. So every single person who bought an edition was entered into a raffle to win the original painting, which at the time were going for 1.5 up to 3 ETH. So in that range. And so for just 0.15, you were entered into a raffle to possibly win this original artwork, which
it's awesome.
Was super awesome. And what was really fun was to get that feedback from people oh man, I've always wanted to own original art. This is going to be my first painting if I win. And we would have a little party in my Discord in Mumbot World for the 100 Ghost holders. And we would I'd play music, and then I'd share the video for each one, who with the raffle wheel, who's gonna win. Yeah,
that's fun. That's really fun.
It was fun.
So can I ask a question? Yeah. The people who are collecting your work, do you feel like they're are they art collectors, or are they kind of from a different tribe? Almost anthropologically, because the people who buy toys usually they buy art, they collect things, or they don't. There's different tribes that kind of come through our world. The people who are buying your NFTs, are they where do they spend their mental time?
It's super diverse.
Do you think it's more diverse than the general toy collector world?
A little bit, I do, actually. And I think there's a lot of parallels with the toy world. I would say that my experience in the toy world was a huge benefit to me in this space. I feel like I was able to apply stuff naturally from like what I've learned in the toy world.
Like,
yeah.
What are the similarities?
Like just collectibles. The
Just
way
an understanding. Well, I'm also a collector, like you guys,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I don't own anything.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I would say just like an understanding of wanting to provide value, like in general, like how to like, and I care about like an experience. You know what I mean? Like I feel like the things that I would hope for
But
as a collector, I
Yeah.
would also provide as the person making the stuff.
Right.
But the people that are coming to you from the NFT world, they're like this person who never owned a painting before. Is this like a totally different type of collector?
Yeah, there were some different types of collectors that I would say came in. You know, I mean, it's weird because like
Generational.
there's different waves right now. It's like such a small, you know, I think it's like really a small amount of people who have been onboarded into the NFT space. But that's why I guess it's kind of reminding me a little bit of the toy world, because like designer toys is also pretty niche, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Where we live in a subgenre of a subgenre
Yeah.
in an alternate universe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also like being a person who was a big comic book geek, but you know, I kind of like zeroed in on like indie comics and like
Yeah.
weird like international comics and zines and things. And also I guess just like being into subculture, right? Being into subculture and finding obscure things. I think there's something to be said about that has helped.
So there's like a generation that are collecting NFTs and like that's what they want to collect.
Yes. So like we should talk about that, I think, a little bit. Like that's been interesting, right? There was like a whole period of time where I felt like, okay, some people just aren't interested in the physical, right? And I spent like a lot of time like getting to know like the type of collectors that were around, like who weren't interested in physicals. And then I noticed also like there was a lot of there've been waves and it's already changed, but I noticed there was a whole wave where like, you know, no one not only cared, but no one like was interested in learning about digital collectibles. So I just kind of like went to other places to kind of talk about it and that's changed. So it's kind of like become a little more, it's opened up a little more people are interested in different places. But and now that same thing, it's like about physicals has kind of shifted into the Web3 NFT space. Like more people are interested in that, and they're interested in all of the other things that you can
Is
get.
Web? I have to ask this question, not to be an asshole. Is Web3 real?
Yeah. It's like
where?
Web 2 is basically before, I guess, blockchain technology has changed things, right? So pre-blockchain technology really changing the way.
So blockchain is Web3.
Yes and no. I would say it's more than that, right? It's like Web3, I would say opening up access, right? Like having like token gating, that's Web3. Right? Like you're probably starting to see more of that.
Yeah,
I would assume.
I also feel like the crypto bubble bursting and NFTs becoming, I think at first, especially in my eyes, it was hard to distinguish between an NFT and crypto and why the two things, because they were so integrated at some point that it just became like, well, it seems like a scam because the crypto
perception
aspect
was integrated.
Yeah, which is not the case. And I think that once that bubble burst and maybe the collectors that were just collecting to try and like flip crypto and make money, I think that bubble went away, and now you have people that are genuinely interested in collecting the NFTs and the art and the artists, and not that they weren't there in the first place, because they absolutely were, otherwise it wouldn't have succeeded. But it, you know, I think that the people now.
Do you give a shit about the fact that there was seemed to be this whole wave of people that were just there to flip?
I mean,
Does it bother you? Do you think about it? Do you care? Like,
I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm on, like, that's a part of the space, just like there is in the toy space, right? Like, there were people flipping my shumis, you know what I mean? Like, if you go on eBay right now, there's someone like flipping one of my shumis that I think at the time went for like $65 back then. They're flipping it for like $250, and you know,
any place that's got value, there'll be flippers. Right? It's not exclusive
like
to the NFT. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, from our
there's people like that, you know.
mm-hmm.
I don't know. You and I don't know how much we've actually talked about this out loud, but like from my perspective, I'm glad that there's a secondary market, but I think the people who are flipping toys and hyping up an artist's career to a place that then can become unsustainable and actually hurt the artist, where people aren't buying things because they love them, they're buying things to flip them, and then at some point there's a crash. And I've seen that crash actually hurt the artist who collectors rode as a wave.
Many times.
So like I have a lot to say about all that. I have a few things. First of all, one of the coolest things about the NFT space was that the secondary market provided a royalty for an artist. So that never existed before, right? We've seen original art, like paintings, go for millions that artist will never see a cent of, and they had sold it for like maybe, $500.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's, in my opinion, it is what it is, but it's so unethical. It's wrong. Like, it's sad, you know? And on the flip side, the space changes so fast. Like, there's been all these, like, different waves of the space. Like, last year, there was a whole wave of, like, people trying to push for zero royalties. And that was kind of a big deal. Like, a lot of people were like, that's not okay. And so now
you're talking about the CC0.
No, something else. Zero royalty was something that, so basically there are people trading on certain marketplaces. One of them right now that is called Blur is one example. That they're taking a lot of the market share because of the fact that there are still a lot of people trading or flipping types, and they're just like, they don't want to give the royalty.
Is that because it's difficult to build out that continual path of royalty exchanges, or just because that's just their ethos?
Yeah, I think it comes down to the person. I think it just depends on the person who the collector is, and like if they like care about who's like, if you're a part of a community, I think that for the most part, like your community I would hope that I've provided a lot of value, and that like anybody in my community would want to make sure that like they're participating in ways that I will also still have a royalty, because I also operate in such a way where I want everyone to be doing well. I want everybody to be happy, and I want I'm going to be doing this forever. I'm not going anywhere, with or without any bubbles or hype cycles. I've proven that already, like for a long time already, right?
Yeah.
So there's that part. But I think some people look at things differently. You know what I mean? Again, like it can be an ethos thing. It can be like a project thing, like how they look at the project. Do they look at it like art? Like, do they look at like, hey, this is something that I want to keep forever because I like it?
Mm-hmm.
Or do they look at it as like something else? You know what I mean? So
I guess I always thought that the royalty was somehow like built into the blockchain, that was like a given, that the artist is going to receive a royalty on a sale in the secondary market. But are you saying it's more of like an ethical thing that like the person who's selling the piece then chooses to give a piece of that sale to the artist, or is that just something that happens automatically?
So it's now becoming, there are more tools now to make sure that it's built into the blockchain, but previously there have been like some front end solutions that can be bypassed depending on like if you use it on a different marketplace.
Right.
Yeah. But also now there's more technology as well. It's like always changing. It's so fast. Like there's already some people who are choosing to block certain platforms, and they can do that. They can build that into their smart contract now. And yeah, there's just like I don't know. It's a lot. We could.
No, and I totally understand that it's a lot, and I don't want to get into the weeds too much about it. I guess, you know, it's just really great to hear you talk about it because you're embedded in this community and we can see that it's authentic and you've developed something that's really special. And
it sets you apart from a lot of the other NFT galleries or projects because you've clearly built a community of like-minded people that are in it for the art and making awesome things and growing something great, which is, you know, amazing.
Yeah, and you obviously enjoy it. And so that's the most important thing. And so it's a natural extension of your work.
Yeah.
And then there are other NFT projects that we've seen, and there's extremes, but I guess it's been really weird for us to see people buy artwork in the NFT space where we're not even sure that the people understand the artist behind the artwork was really driven by crypto more than by art. And then people kind of locating themselves as part of a group of people who had collected an NFT collection and seemed to be defining themselves as part of that group around an artist. And it seemed pretty clear that it really wasn't about art at all, that it was purely about money. And it's really almost disheartening to see it happening, and especially because, you know, we love art.
Yeah.
And so it's been, you know, we've had so many conversations with you, and at some point they've been, you know, slightly adversarial, but really that was just about trying to understand, you know, and I don't feel that way about it at all because I feel like everything's sort of settling into a much more natural progression.
Yeah.
But it's still, I think that there's still seems to be a culture of people who have NFTs just located in a place of value in their hearts. And then there's other generations that don't understand it.
To follow up with that, Jade.
Are you talking to me, Alex?
Yeah. Because I mean, because I want to know, Jade, like, who do you collect? What's in your collection? Like, who are some of your favorite artists? I want to hear like what you love.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So I mean, there are a lot of artists that I collect who are just like, number one, they're I only collect stuff I actually like, number one. So that's important to mention. I don't just collect because I, you know, like, oh, I'm just going to collect something, but I also want to support people who support others. That's important to me. Not only that, but like I kind of support, like I like to I do go out of my way to get like a variety of different stuff. So where's my phone? Let me pull up some of my You can actually go to my OpenSea and I have some of my favorite collections featured on my on my page. I have like a set of Ghost Club NFTs. Like I'm trying to collect at least one of every person from Ghost Club. Let's see. What do I have? Sorry, one sec.
I know, talking to Vincent Scala a little bit about NFTs, he always talks about how, you know, that brought a lot more collectors into his world to buy his paintings and his sketches, and it was just a continuation for him and a continuum of collecting, which is awesome. Like, I love that.
Now we spoke to Ron about it last week, and he was kind of at a place where he was very adamant about people's ability to be able to burn their NFTs and have prints and get out if they wanted to get out. How does?
Yeah.
Do you have any comment about that trend?
The burn mechanic that was created by, that was a combination of Mad Dog Jones and Manifold. Manifold is also they're one of the awesome they're like people providing tools for creators to create their own smart contracts, and they're creating like tools for us to create claim pages and the burn mechanics and making things in a user-friendly way where, like, if you don't have access to like a developer, you can still participate in this ecosystem for free, which is not probably going to last for much longer, but in the meantime, while we're in this early phase, it's amazing. There's another, besides Manifold, there's also Third Web. They're a good source for utilizing smart contract tools. I would say both of those are a good place to start. But yeah, let's see. I can't. My internet's like, my son is streaming.
That's okay.
It's okay.
But I'll just riff. I'll riff. I have some of the Muju's NFTs. I have. Let's see. I have. I'm gonna shout out a few different people. Killer Napkins. Let's see. I have Joshua Davis, of course. Cyrus James Khan. I have. Let's think. Pixel Fool. He was somebody early on I collected who I love. Gogo Porin. Demon Drawn. Yep, I own some of his stuff. I see him in the chat. Mariana Martins. Amazing animator, who I also have collaborated with. I own some Vincent Scalas. I have like almost 600 NFTs I've collected on Ethereum, so I could name a lot. Yoi was in the space briefly, which I was excited about. I picked up every single one of her NFTs. Hopefully she'll come back eventually. Oh, it's loading! Yay, it's loaded. Let's see. Kong Andri, he came in for a little bit, and I think he had some one of ones, and then later did a big project. But I actually have Space Boy #1.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's actually an edition of 10, but it was like at one point someone was offering me a lot for it, and I was like, no, sir, because I'm not here for flipping. Okay.
Right. We have toys of the same ilk. People come in and be like, I want to buy that, and we're like,
It's not
no.
for sale. So
Okay. Dila, let me keep I need to.
Yes.
Dila Maharani from Indonesia. Amazing. I have some of her stuff. Hold on. Who else do I have? Oh, Frenemy. He's based in Malaysia. He's actually American, but he's based in Malaysia. I have some of his stuff. I have Junkyard. What else do I have? Lacrace, Des Lacrace. Dalek. I have Wizard of Barge. I don't know if you know, but he has some NFTs. Buff Monster. Brian Morris. I could go on, but I'll chill for a little bit.
All right.
Yeah, I love the roll call. This is great.
Yeah. So Elliot says, I feel like the fact that NFTs are linked to a currency kind of puts them in a different category than Sofubi. I can appreciate the collective value and artistic value. Linking to a currency scares me. Which,
but
I agree with that a little bit. It's not linked
anymore. To a current. It never was. It was never linked to a currency.
But the perception was that it was.
Right. So that's
people don't understand the difference. But so
you can buy with USD. You don't have to buy with crypto, right?
Right. Well, that's true too. Yep.
The difference for me, and is that I have a physical fetish.
Yeah.
So when I buy something physical, it scratches an itch inside me, and I feel satisfied, and some like little piece of my soul feels like, oh, cool, I own this thing, and I put it on a shelf, and I have a relationship with this physical object. Mm-hmm. And if my phone was gone, I'd be happier. So to think that something inside my phone, I think that phones are gateways to hell. Aside from, like, if I could go back to a phone that just texts, I want text. This is my personal reality. It's a gateway to hell. Like I walk down the street and I look at everyone's looking at their phone. And it's a fucking gateway to hell. Right. No offense.
Right.
I want to be able to text, have GPS,
Take a photo.
and take a photo. That's all I want my phone to do. I want everything else on my phone to go away. I want YouTube to go away. I mean, I love YouTube. It's sick, but like I love it, but it's like crack. Like, but if it went away, I'd be a more productive person. I want all social media to go away.
It's not happening.
No, I know,
Yeah,
but but from my perspective as a person who like used to like sit and listen to the rain, it's a fucking gateway to hell. And so that's my personal opinion.
I have comments about all of that.
Okay, but so I still like a digital image for me can't ever have a value.
Yeah, but you could put a digital image in a picture frame on a wall.
That's not okay, right. But now it's on. But now it's physical.
Just be like,
but now it's physical, right? But then it's physical. So then it's not an NFT. It's a physical object. Go ahead, Mumbot. I'll shut the fuck up. You can slap anytime you want to slap me in person, Jade. I love you. You can slap me in person anytime you want, Jade.
All right. So here's my thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts. You said a lot of things. Okay. So some of that is like your ability to just like, it's your choice and your opinion, so you're allowed to have all of that, but at the same time it's like there's some connection you always have like to these devices, right? So like while you're in there, there's nothing different from like how you are in the real world, in the sense of like now you have the option to kind of have like your digital identity. Like, you know, that's one of the cool things about it, right? Like you know, you wear your band t-shirts, or you wear your like the toy brands you like. Yeah. So like that kind of stuff, the more you're involved in the digital realm, you want to have like your personality show through a little bit. You want your PFP profile pic. You want your you just want to represent yourself. You want to have your identity, your what's the word? Like when I color my hair, that's like part of like how I
identity.
Yeah, that's like how I express myself. Like you want to express yourself, but digitally, right? If you're gonna be in that space, again, like that's not. I don't think you have to be on all these devices if you don't want to, and if you don't need to. Like you shouldn't have to. I think like everyone should only be on it as much as they feel healthy, right? Like and sometimes some of that's just a mindset, to be honest. Like some of it's just a mindset. Like I had a completely different relationship with streaming while doing my art, and I still noticed like there's still, even after all this time, even during the pandemic where like things changed, I still have a little bit of an issue showing what I'm working on when I'm not ready. So some people don't have that problem at all. Some people can show from beginning to end their whole process, and they can talk the whole time. And even though I love that, I can't personally always do that. I actually have to put on my headphones sometimes. I can't have any distractions. My family has to be asleep. I have to be working at like 2 a.m. by myself, no distractions, so I can get into the proper flow state and get like the most work done and be the most productive. And that has nothing to do with my digital identity or any of these other things, right? So like it has to do with actually just the mindset. Like I know now, I have enough self-awareness. Like I know that I need to get into a certain mindset to be able to do my work well, to do my best.
Right.
But friends, no, I was just gonna say I've learned like skills and techniques over this time, the past couple years, to draw a different way when I'm on, you know, like if I'm in live or if I'm painting live or something. I've learned like, okay, well, these are my go-tos where I can just pull these out and they take less of that like internal, you know, primitive type of
anxiety away. Yeah. Did anybody read Elliot's comment that he removed? Elliot, put the comment back. He like wrote a comment, then he says, remove that comment, kind of harsh, not trying to rock the boat, wanting to get Clutter's take. Put the comment back.
So
I want to know what it was.
I guess the question still comes
This computer's died.
down to, for me, about the actual value of one file over another file.
Oh, right. Well, so, but like it isn't, it's like one file, right? It's like you own that file and then that's you. Like some people really do value that digital item. It's the one and only, right? It's the only one. Like,
Well, is it though?
yeah.
What if I changed a pixel?
Well, yeah, but hang on a second. The file is, you create the file when you create the art. There's the file. Once you upload that file somewhere, that's another file. So that's actually the second file. It's not the original file because the original file is still there.
But there's only the one on the blockchain. There's only the one official one on the blockchain.
Right.
Right. So it's only when it's tied to the blockchain that it's official.
Well, that's what makes it like
right.
fungible. Also, I would say, I was going to make the case for people who don't want to have a lot of like physical stuff, or maybe they don't have enough room. There's a lot of people, like I have a lot of collectors who have told me, like, I just don't have room in my place for.
Yeah. And some people like minimalism. I get that too. That makes sense to me.
They have a screen.
Yeah. And
on the wall.
They're out on. Yeah.
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 But I guess the way that I think about it, though, is just like you can have a piece of art and you can take a picture of a piece of art, and sure, you own that piece of that photo of art, which is great, and you can hang that photo and it'll have a poster or a repro or whatever. But like somebody has to own that single one. I mean, that's essentially what an NFT is, right? You have that single one, but a JPEG is going to be like, you know, a photograph of that art, so it's not actually like owning that piece.
The person who might have saved the JPEG doesn't own that piece. It's on the blockchain who owns that piece.
Yeah.
Like you can literally pull it up and you can show like, no, I actually own it. Like you
Elliot says it's like the new versus old thing when samples came out and people could make music sampling of the sounds. Yes, it is. It's like just a new way of.
I remember I was maybe like 3 years ago walking down the street with Ron English, and he was like, "No, this is great because when you own this image or this animation, you can put it on a screen in your house and show it, and you could never do that before." And I was like, "That's not true. Like, we could have put up files on screens in our apartments in the 90s if that was actually cool, and like I could download 20 Basquiat's and have them in rotation on my wall. Doesn't matter if I own them or not. I could be like, look at these Basquiat's on my wall, but it was never. But it's actually kind of nauseating to have things rotating on your wall and a screen. In my personal opinion, having gone to NFT galleries makes me a little seasick.
Sure. So the ownership.
The ownership's irrelevant.
Yeah.
But you're talking kind of more about like the difference between like a replica or like a print, like not even a signed or limited edition print, but like a print from like the gift shop down the street. You're not I mean, like especially like, you know, it's.
But in the digital world, what does it matter?
That's a good way to explain it, though. I think that's a good way to explain it.
But what's the difference digitally?
Do you want to own something, or do you want
to own it? You don't physically own it. You mentally know you don't own it if you just took a photo of it. I'm
a rebel.
No, like
I'm a rebel. I'm gonna put up a PFP that I don't even own.
Yeah, people
put up a picture.
Yeah, people do that, and it's like everyone is like, bro, like we know you don't own that. Like, you know what I mean? Like we know who owns it, and it's not you. Like if you really want to be that guy who took a picture in front of I don't know, like Jay-Z's house and was like, "This is my house, guys." Like, go ahead, be my guest, be that guy. But we all know that that's Jay-Z's house and not yours. And just because you took a photo and posted on Instagram and said that that's your house, we all know it's not your house, you know?
Right. And how do you feel about the people that buy the art and then kind of think that it's their own art rather than somebody else's art because they've bought it and now they own it and use it a bit
because it was CC0.
Yeah.
And now it's mine. I own it. It's my art.
Well, I think CC0 is really cool. And like, I think anybody who's partaking in that, I mean, that's like almost like another wave, like an art, kind of like an art wave, you know, that's happening. And it's interesting. Like you can't not think that's interesting. I mean, like what's happening, one of the freaking coolest things is Matt Fury's Pepe the Frog, right? Like you guys know what happened, the history of like, you guys see that documentary, Feels Good Man?
have a
I didn't see the
feeling,
documentary.
yeah.
No, I'll go
Okay.
watch that tonight.
Yeah.
Well, so this is another thing. People get confused. They think that that's a Web3 native thing because it's gone so big. It's gone like there's rare Pepes and all of these fake Pepes, and there's all these like projects that have come from Pepe, right? But like, you know, he gave up the copyright after he won that big lawsuit against the white supremacists. Like it was like a 10 years ago maybe that he created that character. That don't quote me on how long ago, but it was a long time. And it became a famous meme, and then it got kind of hijacked by like, you know, unsavory people who kind of were like making Pepe seem like it's something that it's not, and then he kind of like had to take it back. And so one of the coolest stories in my opinion is how it's just like, you know, he gave up that copyright, like anybody can do anything with it at this point to just help him, you know, bring back like what Pepe could be more than like this. He didn't want it to be just this like hateful imagery that was sort of hijacked into being for a little bit. And I think that's a really great story. It's really interesting. It's really like popular, you know, Pepe the Frog. But like there's also Nouns. You know that Nouns, okay, Nouns was actually in this, they had a Super Bowl commercial last year, not this year. And Nouns is a project that is a CC0 project. And you've probably seen, I don't know if you saw Big Shot Toys, Klim, he came out with these things called Noggles, these like Nouns glasses. That's what all the characters have, these Nouns glasses. And basically that's a really cool project because like it's a bunch of people come up with different projects and people vote on what gets allowed to be made or something like that. Sorry, I'm not more well versed about it, but I know that they've raised tons of money for like really cool charities, one of them being helping get glasses for kids who were in underprivileged situations where they couldn't get glasses and they needed glasses. They did like a whole other project where I believe there was it them? Well, one of these projects did something where they like raised funds for like helping clean up, and this all NFT funded. Like they helped clean up you know, areas where they like basically donated money to like different towns, and like the towns that like cleaned up the most garbage or whatever got more Ethereum or whatever.
You're such a good person. You're ducking the underlying like problematic question.
Is this Elliot's question?
Yeah, Elliot's my boy. Like I don't like Elliot's like no. What about the people who are buying? I'll just say like Bored Ape, and like oh my god, I bought a Bored Ape for $25,000.
But the mint wasn't $25,000. The original mint was like 0.5. I mean,
sure. But what about the people that are buying this stuff for value, and will it actually go up in value? Can it retain its value? Is like, it worth anything?
In what world? So like, here's my
I don't know.
I'm based in practicality, okay?
You're so fucking awesome, and I'm so on your wavelength that like these questions don't even matter to your day to day. We're just all out here looking in, going, what the fuck is going on in there?
Yeah.
And there's these different communities, and you're part of a tribe that's like rad.
Well, I was there.
I have no criticism of your world and your tribe and what you're doing. I get it. And it's like, oh God, I wish that I fucking cared the way you care. Because I don't have that bone in my body. Okay. And that's okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
And I just want to say, I'm awful. The artists. I'm awful about this too. Like I'm this way about other shit. Like when Miranda, I'll just say it's not just about NFTs that I'm like this. It's like Miranda will be listening to a band and I'll be like, why do you like that? And she'll be like, you're such a dick. And I'll be like, no, I just really want you to explain to me what you like about this music because I don't get it. I'm not from the aughts. I miss this band. And if you could explain it to me, and I'd be like, oh, wow, that's why this is a profound and interesting musician. And that's a key in for me generationally to give a fuck about something that I didn't naturally hormonally bond with.
Sure.
And so that's why I'm asking these questions. And I get that this is almost nothing to do with you. So you can divorce me anytime you want, Jade.
Well,
Like,
well,
Josh, you divorce me.
I should point out that around the same time that Bored Apes were mint, the mint was happening, I had enough ETH to mint one of those, and I chose to invest in myself. I put my piece up on Foundation. So
Nice.
so just just wanted to point that out. I think took.
We know that you're not in it for the hype, though.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a hype thing at the time. It was like there were like a handful of people hyping it. I knew them all, and it took 3 weeks for that project to sell out.
Yeah.
It wasn't an instant sellout. It wasn't
Right.
like at that time. And I was in a room where people were like, a friend was like offering to just give them away. Like someone was giving them away. He gave some away to some friends of mine.
Amazing.
And I will never forget when it was like the value was up to like, I think like 1,000, whatever the equivalent in ETH is to like 1,000, and
Yeah.
people, and $1,000 like US,
Right.
whatever the equivalent was at the time. And my friends were like nervous at that time. Like, oh, I feel like weird holding this because, he gave it to us and it's like going up way more in value. I feel weird. And like one friend eventually just gave it back because the pressure was like too much. And eventually, I don't know if everyone gave theirs back, but seeing what happened, I mean, I do have friends who are holders of Bored Apes, and they looked at it like, oh, this is possibly like gonna end up being like generational wealth for the first time in my life, like having access to something that could actually be generational wealth. That's really cool. I think that you have to have perspective. Like you can't, you know what I mean? Like if you believe in it, cool. Like my internet might be out, guys, in a second. Sorry.
That's okay. There's
If
some
we
really
lose you,
interesting comments
we love you.
that I want to pull up. But I think that this conversation is refreshing because you definitely come from an art perspective, from a perspective of an artist and artists and collectors and collecting art, and not from the hype, the currency, the wealth, the trading, the like flipping aspect of it. And we have been involved with conversations of people that are on the other side of it and don't give a shit about the art. And it is all about crypto, and it's all about flipping. It's all about, look at this thing that I've got and look at this thing I've got, knowing nothing about the artist or why it's relevant or why that artist is relevant in the world or anything. It's just about the money and the hype. And so, that does leave a bad taste in your mouth when you experience these people that are just like, well, I'm just in it for this perspective. And you're just like, oh, okay. So
I think it's important to embrace.
Invest with like stocks and shares every day, though. Do you know what I mean? So really, like it's not wrong for you to look at it like an investment and make some money on it.
Yeah.
It's just someone else's perspective. It's probably not how we operate, but that's not wrong either. Like
I'm also like, I never said I was against that either, and I'm like my main thing was just to recognize that is also a part of the space, and different people operate differently, but I think it's really important to point out, like, having a major disruption kind of also is very exciting. Like, it offers a lot of opportunity to shake things up and for creation, for new things to happen, for innovation, right? So like, I think that's all really exciting, and it just kind of gives an opportunity to artists to really like embrace it,
Yeah.
absolutely. This is a great conversation,
And-
by the way.
No, and I couldn't be happier that you're kind of blazing this path. It feels good, it feels right, and it's obvious like that what you're doing is really meaningful to you and it works. And that's great. And I think that it's so clear, when this all started, Ellie was saying put a dotted the I and cross the T on the fact that like it was really conflated in the beginning, that crypto and NFTs, like people couldn't tell the difference. And it's, there's a whole world of finance that's fucked. And then there's just art. And if you're into it, you're into it. And it's worth something. Like, I don't think that.
Let me just say something though, because there's talking about people that trade on stocks and shares and all that stuff. A lot of that is pyramid scheme, taking money from somebody else and giving it to somebody else, and like, the scam, and a lot of
making a market.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying that is like the thing that pushes me away. Not not that people trade or want to get money or want to flip stuff. It's that like, well, this is a scam. We've got to get people involved to make money. Like the falseness of it, the false market.
Yeah.
So
I guess, yeah.
here's my take on that. In a way, this particular wave gives you a chance to really do your research. Do your own research is like the motto of the space. That's what I preach. Do your own research. But more importantly, you can literally see like what like people are up to and be willing. Like it's up to you to choose. Like, do you want to put all your eggs in this basket? Do you want to put them in this basket? Do you want to support this artist who's fully doxxed, who's like got a history of like, doing X, Y, and Z? Or, and sometimes people don't. Some people don't. Sometimes people go for the craziest thing that's from an anonymous like group, and they have zero history of like of being able to count on them for anything. So, which is wild, right? But it is what it is.
Would you do like market speculation, like analysis, and tell people what you think are like hot NFTs to buy and like and what not to buy, like a Jim Cramer, like was it Mad Money? Can you do like a mad NFT thing for us? Like we'll throw out NFTs for you, and you tell us, are they going up or are they going down?
I wouldn't mind saying like NFTs that I think are cool or that I like, but then I would also say not financial advice. Not
right.
Well, no, you can't stand behind like right the financial advice side of it, but like Bored Ape going up or going down.
I mean, they got a pretty solid team.
Aren't they being sued because of Jimmy Fallon and Paris Hilton?
I think they've been sued a couple times already. Or maybe not sued, but they've definitely been in a couple of lawsuits, and they won. I think they won at least one or two of those.
So you think it's stable?
Do I think it's stable?
Well, you said you think it's solid.
I think they have a solid team. I mean, they have a pretty solid team. They have a lot of. I'm a fan of doodles. I'm a fan of. I don't have any. I don't own any doodles. Should I be reading these comments?
Yeah, I'm drawing them because this was a good one. I'm sure Josh
really
it's not even worth something about this. We hear that all the time.
No, the thing.
The time.
So
I know this dude, super talented.
The thing that
we have this, people walk in the gallery all the time and they're like,
what is this?
What is this?
What is this? I can't believe this. No, absolutely. And we
get to have that conversation too. We're just having a good conversation.
The real thing that concerns me about toys and their value has to do with the aging of culture more than like whether they're worth anything now.
Check out art blocks. Check out some of the generative code artists.
Okay.
What else?
Wait, can I ask you about another one? That was Murakami.
I think Murakami is a good person to watch because he actually, I don't know if you remember this, if you were paying attention back in like 2020, but in 2020, he paused his NFT journey because he was waiting till he had things more like figured out, and then I know he's like involved with CloneX, Artifact, and they have Nike behind them. I mean, that's a pretty big, I would say that's like a blue chip. So there's like blue chip projects, right?
It went down tremendously. And Murakami apologized. Do you remember when Murakami apologized like 8 months ago?
Yeah.
And he said like the true value of the NFTs will be determined after I'm dead.
Yeah.
Which is probably true.
Absolutely true.
It's probably true. And I would say like, when we talk about like the things that are shifting when it comes to artists, like I like to also think about the fact that like how cool is it to also be able to support artists and bet on artists that are still alive, like who are still building, versus like in the olden days when everyone had to die before their stuff like was worth anything. Like I'm literally building a video game independently with a friend of mine which CZ got to come experience on the XR stage and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah,
It was
we're-
really
we're-
fun.
and
It
we're
was
gonna-
really fun.
we're
We should put that video up somewhere.
That's great. Is that
Um,
built on? Is it Unreal?
we're building it in Unreal Engine.
Are you doing it in 5?
Yes, in Unreal Engine 5.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah. So but that's
Don't-
been
don't
so
stop.
fun.
I don't want anyone who's listening to this conversation to think that I don't support people making art and putting it out there. I'm just like, I'm from a different planet and I'm just asking questions. I'm not a hater.
Well, here's another question. How about your kids? Okay, think about your kids and what are they into? Do you find them asking you to like let you get them the like little digital upgrades on like some of their games that they play on the iPad, or you know, some of those little collectibles that you could
I don't
We
know
cut
if-
off all their
no.
fingers, so-
I don't know if our kids are a good example because they're so immersed in what we do. They spend so much time, because we spend so much time doing what we do, that they're like little offshoots of us being like physical objects, and so though they do play like Minecraft and stuff, they're probably not quite old enough yet either. So I think that, you know, Pixie maybe soon we'll start having those conversations with, but
well, Minecraft is a Minecraft is a metaverse, you know. It is like one of the best metaverses. It's one of the best examples of like what, you know, what Web3 it's gonna be like.
yeah, no, the little guy. He's going to be the one that's like, you
Yeah.
guys,
Oh
and your
yeah.
physical objects. I'm like in the thing.
Yeah, the girls haven't really asked for anything like that.
Okay.
No, but
If-
he is definitely.
If we gave him a
definitely.
credit card, he would go bananas.
That's true.
Okay.
So yeah, do you think? So here's a question: do you think any NFTs will ever be in museums in the future, like on long enough timeline?
Yeah, they're already
Definitely.
Rafika Nato, I don't know if I'm saying the name right, just had a big was exhibited at the Museum of Modern Art last week.
Yeah.
There's an artist who I love, Thank You X. He was in, I believe, in Cleveland. I could be wrong where the location was, but he was recently showing in a museum. I mean, we're seeing NFTs being shown in museums. We are seeing, you know, auction houses supporting NFTs now, Sotheby's, Christie's. You know, I mean, it's and this is international, right? And there's like, just like with toys, there is different kind of cultures around like different things everywhere based on like, you know, what people are having access to, what kind of information they're having access to. But yeah, it's happening.
Good answer. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. I just want to a couple of shout outs. Chris, Savage Zombie Art, what's up? I would say hi to Frank when he came on.
Yeah. Hey everyone who's
Hey,
joined us in the
everybody.
chat. This is awesome. Please keep asking your questions. 'Cause
Wilson,
this is a great
thank you.
conversation. So you work in all genres pretty much now. Like you have plush, you have toys, you make art, you paint art, you do drawings, you do digital. Which is your favorite?
Oh gosh, where's my favorite? Okay, so I kind of need to do all of it, and that's really one thing that helps me kind of not get burned out. To be honest with you, I need to be able to switch it up. But if I'm gonna go back to my roots to having just a pencil and paper.
That'd be the one thing you couldn't give up: pencil and paper.
That's what I had as a child. That's all I had, and I would say, you know, that's all I need really at this point. You know,
That's your primary.
I don't think it's my primary because I don't have. It's very time consuming, but I noticed that I feel like sometimes I get like a time period where I like need to just like chill and have like that analog, feel the texture in front of me, and based on like the light that I have available, not working from a light source, and you know, no digital lag. Okay, like I know I'm speaking your language, Josh. You know, like having the thing in my hand and like feeling the paper and like there's like I love all different mediums, and I'm actually thinking I was gonna ask you, CZ, because I'm thinking of learning Blender. We have some people who use Blender in Ghost Club, and it's really been inspiring me. So I might start to try to like learn it.
Yeah, you should. I mean, the program's free, which is great. That's a great start.
So,
And it's been improved so much now that a lot of it's like a node-based system. So you're linking things to things to things. But it's just got so much easier. Do you know what I mean? And the results you can get, the renders you can get, and how the things look now, they're so fucking great. Do you know what I mean? The problem is when you've made such a great render, is how do I then replicate that in the real world? Because the renders are the renders, right? It's a seamless world. You can put the lights wherever you want, and then if you're then gonna make a toy from that, you're gonna struggle. Do you know what I mean?
Do you have a picture of the one that you were just working on, Susie, that you could show real quick, or are you on your phone?
I'm on my phone. I can't really do it. But
I have a picture. I have the picture you dropped
Do
me.
you have the?
I'll send it to you guys. You got it.
Yeah.
I have it.
My
I have
phone's dead. I don't
No,
know
no,
why
I have
I'm
it.
even
I have it
trying
right
to
here.
use that. I just went. The textures are amazing.
Yeah, pop it up, because like fur hat is just
Yeah.
Here,
Yeah,
it's right here.
Yeah. There we go.
I'll turn around. Hey, stop touching my phone. This is my gateway now.
Hang on, I have to mute this one. Okay, here we go.
Oh my god!
Oh, that's so
look at his
cute.
fluffy hat, right? It's cool.
That's amazing.
Wow.
I said to CZ when he showed it to me, I was like, he looks very posh.
I love that.
Yeah, so this
Wind
is
his hat up a bit.
He's like,
Mumbot kid.
he looks like his parents took him out and
Oh,
and just bought him all this new gear. Like,
Oh yeah, he's cute. Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, on his other side, he's got a little he's got like a Cambot rucksack. So yeah, that's what I'm working on, and that's all done with Blender. So I ZBrush it, I make it all in ZBrush, and I take it into Blender. I don't use Blender as a sculpting tool. I just use it as a light box, you know.
Nice.
And I think that's the best way to go. It's just so good. And like I said, it's a free program, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
So cool.
I love it.
Oh.
That's awesome.
Oh, here we go. Hang on.
I have the back picture too.
Oh, you got the bat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I made the bat look like the Cambot looks kind of flocked. He's
Oh
looking
my
flocked,
gosh.
you know?
So cute.
Oh, love it.
I am
So good.
obsessed with that.
Yeah. So you can go to town with it. You know, I've got all these textures going, but then I have to hone it back and think, dude, I want to make this into a toy. You know what I mean? So like, do you see what I mean? It just looks so hyper realistic with the textures and stuff that I'll have to tone it back to make it look like vinyl surfaces, you know. But
You have to make it look shit so it can be made in the real world.
yeah,
Except for people who collect beautiful digital art like that.
but do you know what? I think maybe you can have a conversation with me and we can have a look at it.
Yeah,
That'd
for
be cool.
sure.
Nice
That'd be
one.
awesome.
Right on.
Yeah. But yeah, I love the digital world like that at the moment. I'm just really enjoying it. But yeah, I just haven't taken it past being a render. You know?
Here's what's so cool, right? Like, I love that you just said what you just said. It was so cool to me because I also, like, there's been moments where I felt like maybe I was holding back a little because I kind of saw myself in like one sort of way, or like maybe two or three different sort of ways. But like, it's been so nice to just fully embrace like my digital art. Like, this is literally digital art. I made this artwork, and there's people who just love digital art, and that's been so cool. Like, it's been really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really important. Yeah, no, I totally get it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I asked you last time, but what's the story behind your characters? Is there like a little?
Do we have time? Oh my god.
It's a world, right? It's a whole
Yeah,
world.
tell us the world. You know,
There's a lot. There's a lot.
There's a lot. Okay.
Yeah, like Augustus has been around for hundreds of years. You know, when Augustus died, didn't know that his significant other was pregnant, and so like there's this whole storyline of where like he's like on a journey, like traveling through time, on a journey through time, and throughout time he doesn't really realize that he's sort of linked to these like ancestor, like he's their ancestor. It's like along his bloodline. And basically, so like I actually have like a lot of fun side stories surrounding like different points of time from like different eras of like certain characters. But then where I'm at right at the moment, developing Mumbot world, like within the magical forest and everything, it's the reason why Augustus is currently settled there is that the girl from the first floor also comes from his bloodline. So he's like her great grandfather. I mean, he's her great grandfather. And so she like almost died like as a baby, but like one of the forest like fairy type creatures sort of like fused their life force to kind of keep her alive. So that's why she's half human, half forest fairy. And the reason why Agostis has been able to kind of stay present in this place where time doesn't function normal. Also, that's another additional factor. They've kind of like, that's like, he's kind of reached his purpose. Like he's with someone that needs him, and they both need each other, but they don't even really know that they have that connection at all. So it's
okay. That's smart. Yeah.
I love
So is that part of the video game then?
You'll have to see.
We got to wait. Okay. But like,
Yeah.
okay, just briefly tell me what sort of video game it is.
Right. So, we've just sort of barely, we've been working so hard on it, but it's only us two, right? So it's like, we've just been working on having this beta release during our mintversary sometime in late March or early April, where we'll release like this version of it that it's like chapter 1, basically, I want to say. So we've been working on building out, the area around the campfire, and we've set up some items and some fetch quests, and like we have a underlying plan that also links Cyrus's game that he created in his world, so that there will be some crossover. There will be a little crossover between our worlds, which it doesn't have anything to do with really my lore, but we were able to kind of find something cool to sort of link it. So like there's a villain named Marudo, and Marudo's a robot, and Marudo is also a collector. And Marudo comes from the human world and was becoming sentient. And like Marudo didn't know that. They were like collecting stuff on different missions to like destroy stuff. CEO Bob is the actual ultimate villain. And and Marudo is just like one of many robots that were sent to like go, do the bidding of CEO Bob. So anyway, Marudo's a collector and was like hiding stuff in this like chest panel, and eventually wasn't slick enough, and one of the robots caught it. And so Marudo was going to be shut down, was like going to be sent to go, reprocessed. And then Marudo kind of intercepted that message. And when I believe they were going to go, how did I write that part? I don't know if I should be. It's away, but oh no.
Oh. The internet is not letting you give it away because it keeps like freezing you in that moment.
Yeah, no, don't give stuff away.
Don't give it away.
So it's like an RPG. Like you're going to do your quest for stuff.
There's going to be adventure and mystery, and yes, there's like it's more of an adventure game.
I got you.
And romance?
I don't know about romance. Maybe.
Right, I was asking.
Mossy and Shumi Mashrumi are best friends. Maybe, there will be something where like Mossy has to be Shumi's wingman. Wing Shumi's
wing shroom.
Wing moss person.
I want to bring up this comment from Chris that says, in the early 2000s, digitally made art was treated as lesser traditional art. Now it's commonplace. And it's the same with the printing press. You can go back through time and find these evolutions of art and process. People are like, I don't know about that.
Absolutely.
So just to follow on from that, before we should do Toy Tank soon, but I just want your take on AI art.
Oh, God.
Just a little bit.
Thank you for bringing it up, because I thought about that like an hour ago and I forgot.
Yeah. What's your take
Destruction of humanity?
Or amazing
tours.
It's an amazing tool. It's I have no doubt that there will be improvements in how we have been seeing the issues, the ethical issues that are occurring, which I empathize with all of the people who were their work that they've been developing for like over a decade. That was just, these models were trained on their work, and they didn't have they didn't not have any idea that they didn't give consent, right? So I completely empathize with that, and I think that is unethical, and I think that will change if it's not already happening. So I think that, with that said, it's an incredible technology. Like, you can't deny it. People have been using AI for a long time in the game industry and the film industry, and it's embedded in a lot of our phones. I mean, all of those Google Pixel commercials that you saw during the World Cup, where the camera was taking a photo and it like knew what the background was, where the person was in front of that background. That's an AI functionality, right? What else? There's just like the Chat GPT thing. Here's the thing, like, how cool is it though to have access to, like, hey, can you give me a step-by-step business plan? I want to make a business that's this and this and this. Can you help me structure a business plan? And that doesn't mean you get to turn off your brain and like not
read it
and input what needs to be adjusted and tweaked or whatever. But like, it's very helpful tool, and it's probably more accurate than, and this is not always true. So this is not that, don't, again, do your own research. Like, if you just Google something and take like Joey's example that he gave for free that you could see on Google, maybe this one is different because it's taking from a pool of business plans.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, in a way that one could be more suited towards you, and maybe not. Like, you might really need to adjust it a lot more. But I mean, yeah, I mean, there's gonna be I get it. Like, I understand the concerns.
The two things that really concern me about, let's just forget the text side of it. Let's just talk about the visual side of it, visual art side of it. One is, you're pulling from a construct that's been designed by humans. So anything that's coming to you is actually coming through some limited database of information. And even if it's created by all humans, you're still pulling from something that's not from your own imagination. And so there's some limiting factor there that disturbs me, that people will grow up not realizing that they've put a limitation in their imagination. And then the second
could work the other way too, though.
Yeah.
Well, that's the dystopian movie where a child wakes up in the future and has their own thought and realizes, like, oh my God, thought.
That's the movies that warned us.
That's like, oh my God, I just had my own thought. It's like, yes, in the future they and so then the other side of that is then people and artists saying, like, and it's already happening, look at this thing I made. And it's like, well, you didn't actually make that.
Right.
A computer made that, and then you embellished it, and people being completely self-deluded. And then to go to the text side of that. So that's my visual concern, the text side. And this isn't my thought. What I'm about to say is totally not my thought, but it's something that, a lot of people are talking about. Is, you're pulling text, you're pulling knowledge, you're pulling information from this Chat GPT. Someone in the political power structure is deciding what information is flowing through that database and getting to you. And information that does not fit with, the history is written by the winners, not the losers. And so whatever information isn't, they want to cleanse out of the system is not going to come back to you no matter what question you ask. What answer you ask for is not going to come to you if the political power structure doesn't want you to have that answer that's running ChatGPT.
Well, that's got really deep.
Okay. So I know what you're talking about. I'm aware of all that. I think like there's a scale, right? So like there's a whole scale of people who are more experienced in using AI, who've trained their own models based on their own information, their own imagery, their own like prompts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like who have been doing it for like a couple years now. And so theirs don't look generic. Like most of the, I mean, and this is no shade. This is just the way where the technology is at. There are types of art that you can tell are made with AI because of the trends, you know, and it's like very obvious. And it's kind of like, okay, as soon as I saw like this whole feed of things on Pinterest the other day, I was like, oh man, it's just getting overrun now with just AI you know, stuff like at this point. And that's kind of sucks because like if I want that, I'll go generate it. I don't really, I wanted like real world like imagery. So that, but it just brings it back to like, how resourceful are you? How resourceful are you? Like, you know, because you can utilize this tool however you want. You don't have to just completely be reliant only on this AI tool. You can use reference books, they still exist. You
Does
can
it put too much pressure on artists to be just amazing out of the gate? I guess just like Instagram has the same thing where you only show your best work, you never show the process. So, you know, artists often feel, oh, my work's not good enough, I can't show my work, like I'm not as good as everybody else, because they're only seeing the like years and years and years of honing a process. So if it's all generated by AI, does that put too much pressure on people to be like, I can never be that good, so I must only generate?
Here's where, and I feel the same exact way what you just said about so how I wish things, I think it's turned that way too, where things are, people are enjoying less curated things. And I think it's been that way for the past like 5 years. But I was going to say that I think that like that this is just like with any time where technology or a new wave of kind of is like transforming the art world. It right now, having like to share your process, right? Like we talk about this all the time in Ghost Club, but sharing your process is like more important than ever. Like, you know, me sitting here being able to now like share how long, you know, like how long it took me to draw this thing. It's like to show it,
Yeah,
is key.
yeah.
And like, you know, I'm not saying that having like, you know, curating your prompts to create your AI art isn't a process. That's also a process. Like
Sure.
you actually are part of making that AI art, whether we like it or not, doesn't change it. I mean, for one, I have nothing against it. I just, again, like I want people to be forthcoming. I want them to just say like, this is an AI art. Like, that's it. That's all.
Yeah.
I want you to be like
Honest
about
yeah
it.
Yeah, it's when it becomes like
Yeah, that's a good point.
like hidden that it becomes shady and then it's questionable. But if everybody's up front and be like, yeah, I generated this and this is how I did it,
That came up on
that's-
that conference call we were on the other day, where it was
Yeah.
like corporations are now making people sign as part of their contract that they're not generating the
Right.
artwork using
because
AI.
ownership is going to become questionable at some point. You may have used the prompts to generate it, but who actually owns that image? And that may not be relevant to the individual artist, but it's definitely relevant on a commercial scale. If you're a commercial artist working as a work for hire for any project and you're generating the art, then who owns that art in the end of the day? And that is going to become a legal like minefield to navigate for commercial artists, not necessarily for, you know.
Yeah. And as quickly as AI advances, it's equally quick, like the discovery of tools that break down what that technology did. So, you know, there's AI tools that tell you what images were used to create an AI image now.
Right.
You know, like you can actually put in a piece that you saw someone made. They said, I made this with AI. You could put it into a thing and it will tell you what it sourced, like what images it sourced to make that piece. You know?
All right, good. Mumbot, you're in charge from now on.
It's already been decided AI can't be copyrighted. Well, yeah,
We're gonna bring you. You're gonna be our resident expert.
Yeah, I'm not sure so much it's about copyright. It's about ownership when you're at commercial levels.
I guess so, but if it can be reverse engineered, then there is a route. You know,
Yeah. There's a tie-in. There is breadcrumbs, digital breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
There's got to be fingerprints in the image, like, oh, this was brought from here. It's one. I mean, I think as an artist, if you can have an image generated by AI and then you trace over that image and use it for composition, use it for inspiration for
Process,
perspective.
yeah.
That's all like
Yeah.
that's already happening by
It's already happening.
that's already happening.
Yeah.
And if AI helps you to get the exact structure of a composition that couldn't necessarily find that image just by searching, I think that's a powerful professional tool.
Yep.
It's sort of all the other gray around it.
Well, I think that's the general advice to all artists, isn't it? Is just to practice in every area and use every tool to your advantage.
Yeah.
And be mindful. And be mindful.
Be mindful.
Yeah, and be honest about what your process is and share your process.
Totally. Share your process.
Yeah, I think that's very important especially for younger artists who can feel very disillusioned by, because Pixie, we had that from our daughter that she gets like, I can't draw this, I'm not as good. And it's like, no, you're just starting out. And those people that you're looking at the images for have been doing that for 30 years.
That was such a huge
sometimes.
realization for me. I remember working like the first studio shop that I worked at, and I was so intimidated by the boss who could build anything. And it was like, it just didn't even dawn on me at that time that he was like 30 years older than me.
Right.
And it psych you out. It psychs you out. Like the younger people really need to see. I mean, like my daughter is so like lucky. She gets to kind of see me screw up all the time. You know what I mean? She gets to see me.
Oh no.
Oh my.
You're back.
You're back.
Oh my god. I got scared there for a second.
But
No, we teach the same thing because they get up to like, I'll mess this up and like throw a bit. And it's like, it's okay.
Yeah.
You learn from the mistakes. It's so important.
yes.
It's so important. Should we do toy tank?
I was gonna say
I do have questions about. I have one more like deep question, but
about
I'm not going to tell you because then I'd be asking the question. But actually, we should do toy tank because it's
it's getting late.
I'm excited about the toy.
This is what happens whenever we hang out. Is it's like they become
it's
3-hour
such a good
conversation.
conversation and it's such good interaction.
And you're
It's
so
like it could go on
generous
forever.
with our nonsense. Thank you.
And your time and experience.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming back. We have to go back to part 3.
Yeah, part 3.
Okay, Alex, over to you.
All right, cool. I'm gonna do some real quick.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
I was just supposed to be there when he came back.
That was a good palette cleanser.
Yeah.
Do it again.
Nice.
Do it again. Put up.
With the
Do it and then flip up. Okay.
there we are. It's all good. It's all
Okay.
good.
All right.
Oh,
Oh man, I am so excited about this this toy tank as well. So from what I understand,
you have to
Okay.
sing the song. Don't forget.
Dude, I'm gonna sing this song.
Okay.
I just want people to know how hyped I am about this because Artiq
Okay.
Fox is the fucking next big thing in toys. Like, she is doing awesome work. She was put on my radar by my girlfriend. I was like, holy fucking shit, mind blown. And then fucking everybody's like, holy shit, mind blown. And so I'm gonna do a little toy tank song. Fucking here's a toy tank segment. So guys, sing it along with me. If you know it, goes toy tank. Take me to the toy tank and show me your fucking toys. All right, so I am so fucking happy to bring on Artiq Fox, who's going to be showing us her fucking dope toys, next generation. Fucking, let's see this shit. Welcome.
Hi.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for
I'm
waiting.
Ooh,
I don't know
what
how
a
long
nice
you were-
intro. That was crazy.
Awesome.
Alex is very good with this song.
Excellent. How are you? Welcome.
I'm good. You guys made me sweat a little bit back there, but I'm good.
Awesome. Well, yo, let's see some of your toys. Let's see what you got to
Yeah.
say.
So, okay, so should I start with like what I already do and then work
Yes.
in
Yes.
some
Yeah.
new stuff?
Tell
Okay.
us what
So
you
I make these little figures. They're called Wisplings. This was my first character. His name is Sparkling, and his little girlfriend, if you will, Droplet. But
How can you
That's
tell the
kind of
boys
like
from the
the-
girls?
oh, all the droplets are girls. So
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So I guess I could show you something I'm working on currently. I've been really into double casting lately.
Nice.
So this one is a sparkling inside of an evolved sparkling shape. So
Nice.
that
like
one
that. I
I'm
see.
super
I see
excited
it.
about.
Got
So
it.
I
Good.
probably won't do a whole bunch of these, but I did have another version of these for DesignerCon.
Cool.
That's
I need
really
Yeah.
I need one of those.
Okay.
Yeah. But tell us, how did you get into toys? I see you have some things behind you there too. So, did you start as a collector? Have you been making these figures for a long time? Tell us a little bit about your story.
So I'm fairly new in the designer toy world. I started making toys at Hasbro. I was a 3D designer for them for a little while. And I eventually wanted to break off and do my own IPs. I really enjoyed like getting to work on some of the projects that I got there, but it takes a lot out of you to continue to work on Star Wars that you didn't design, or Marvel figures that you also didn't design, and My Little Ponies. I can't tell you how many My Little Ponies I've sculpted. So eventually I knew that that wasn't going to be sustainable, and I wanted to create something that I could learn how to resin cast and mold on my own, and continue to build a little world around. So that's kind of where Whispling started. Yeah, when I first got started, I didn't know anything about molding and casting. I started watching people making D&D dice, and I was like, this is what I want to do, but in an actual figure. So I needed to create something that would benefit that platform, and yeah, Sparkling was born.
That's awesome. So how did you learn about designer toys?
I think I've always been kind of like a loose collector myself. I wouldn't say that I have a huge collection or anything, but I've definitely followed some of the OG artists from back in the day, and I kind of found my way through there, I guess.
That's awesome. Who are your influences?
Yeah.
Who did you collect back in the day?
Okay, so
See,
I
it's
really-
Nora McPherson behind you, and Chris
Yeah.
Winiak, right?
Oh yeah, big fan. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I actually think so. Those are definitely people I've been inspired by, but I think the person that inspired me to make the leap into doing toys myself was probably Fluff Riot, Christy Kitsune.
Yeah.
So when I saw her dumplings and her fox, I was like, okay, this is kind of like something I would love to do. I want to build my own little world like this. So yeah, that's kind of how that was born.
I
But
love Fluff Rat. Shout out, Christy.
yeah, Christy.
Yeah, good influence. She's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I
What
have
I
one
love-
more thing I can show you that is supposed to be for a show next week. And I actually think Jade is in the show too. Are you in the Strange Cat show?
Grandpa?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to show you my sneak peek of this. Okay. I'm going to double cast. Okay, so I kind of resculpted his grandpa cat. I don't know if anybody's familiar, but it's, oh, that is really blown out.
It's okay.
Okay. Anyways, that's what he looks like.
Wow.
So
It's
I
Strange
resculpted
Cat
him
Yeah.
That's
into
amazing.
a
That's
Whispling version. So
Nice.
he's going to be double cast inside of a larger cat shape, like ghost. So I have another figure that's called Hotness. She's my little new ghost character. I'm like, oh, it's so awesome that Mumbot's going to be here. Yay, ghosts. So,
Oh, that's so cute.
it's kind of like a version of that. So I took the idea of like the 9 lives of cats and kind of thought, oh, this is one of his lives, and he's going off into the other world now. So yeah, he'll be cast inside this big
That's
shape.
Cool. Very
Really
cool.
awesome.
Oh my
I'm
god.
looking forward to
Yeah.
seeing how it's finished. We'll see how it goes.
This is so good. What I love is that you're able to take just like a very simple form and give it so much life and character. You know, I feel like there's so much personality in each of your creations. It's really like mind blowing. I don't know any other word to that. I'm just so like inspired by the work that you're putting together. It's just so cool to see. And like, I feel like there's like also like a tactile element. I feel like it's just gonna be super smooth and just like, you know, something that I want to like hold in my hand. Like that's so cool. Like you're doing it. You're fucking doing it.
Thank you.
Are those glow in the dark? Ones behind you?
Yep.
Nice.
They are glow in the dark. So Yeah, a lot of them don't have eyes yet, but that will actually be my next drop. So I've got them sitting here waiting for eyeballs.
Nice.
Nice.
Yep.
What's up with this face hugger in the background? That is dope.
I know, it's really cool.
If you haven't heard of her, her name is Molly Burgess. She makes a bunch of amazing, like, taxidermy style, like, art out of, I guess, just cloth. Yeah. She's one of
Oh,
my
wow.
favorite artists.
Oh wow,
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
that's so
Yep.
great.
Very
I love your collection going on here. Tell me, what's this? The gold one over your shoulder, the gold wisp. It's on this
Which one?
shelf. It's next to the books. It's underneath the dragon. The
To the
bigger,
right,
the larger one.
Left, to the
This
left,
one?
up.
This one?
Yeah, you were pointing out before, like those, the larger ones. Yeah,
These?
yeah.
Okay. So these are a production run that I did with Strange Cat. So we have
Okay.
like 3 of them.
Oh,
But-
nice.
Nice.
Yeah. Yep. I really had fun designing the colors for these. It was probably like a dream come true to have my piece like be made. It was
Mhm.
like kind of surreal. So yeah, we might have
Awesome.
more coming out.
Cool.
We'll see.
Very cool.
Yay.
Awesome.
Love it.
Oh, this is so good. This is so good. Well, yo, I'm so happy that you were on my radar now. I'm so happy you're on everybody's radar now. And like, this is so cool. I just want to say, keep up the good work. You really like have a good mind for this, and you're just like doing it, and it's really fantastic stuff. So thank you so much for everything that you're doing.
Yeah, I've been having so much fun with it, and I just want to continue to grow the world and my knowledge of resin. So hopefully I'll just continue to pump out stuff.
Awesome.
Yay,
Thank
that's
you.
great.
I want Mumbot. Do you have any information or advice or any suggestions for Artiq Fox?
Artiq Fox is crushing it. I've been watching Artiq Fox and I'm a fan. I would just say, yeah, like keep. I mean, I'm just excited to see. I mean, you're already doing a new figure, so I'm pretty excited about that. And it's ghosts. I'm obsessed, obviously. I don't know. I don't really have a ton of advice, but I love that you're doing it yourself right now and you're doing your own casting. I mean, I never got into double casting. I never got that far into like that part of the production process. So that would be really cool to see maybe your process in that. I would say maybe
For
sharing that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think you're doing things right. Like I've seen you, everything I see you do is really good. And you're doing shows, which is I think a big part of it. Like being a part of the community is big. Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for joining us. Everybody loves your work. Look at this, all the love.
Great. That's great.
So sweet.
Yeah, and stay with us. We're gonna switch back, and then, but yeah, definitely stay, and we'd love to keep
Hang
you on
out
the
with us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hang
hang
out
out for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Switch us back. Do a swoop, Alex.
There you
Let's
go.
do a
All right,
swoop.
little swoop right there. Back
Do
to
a swoop.
Do the sparkle,
Do a
Alex.
sparkle.
the spark. Oh shit, I'm sorry. All right.
It's
And
Yay. I love that.
Yay. If you're in the chat, don't forget to do the YouTubey things, like and subscribe. Keep us going. We're trying to get to
If you're
1,000
not-
subscribers.
If you're not already subscribed to our channel,
please subscribe.
please hit
like
that button. Hit the
Subscribe.
bell.
Show the
Hit the
process.
button.
Thumbs at all. Yeah, exactly. I want to talk about this for a minute.
You still have your,
Oh, I
your
still
cam?
have this up. Yeah. hang on.
Throw your cam up.
Let me get this one up. Here she is.
Oh, she's so cute.
She'll be coming very, very soon. Look at
Love
her.
her.
Again,
Awesome.
sometimes it takes a while, but it's worth it.
Yes. Yeah, I have some more of your toys here too.
Mossy,
Mossy's here. I have a Shumi.
Shumi,
There's one from
Shumi, Mossy, BFFs, Girl from the Forest Floor with a Ghostess.
I have an Agostis somewhere, but he's not.
Oh,
on
you have a Shelf Ghost?
Yeah, I do somewhere.
Oh.
Oh, it's hidden behind the glass. Can't get to him.
I'm
Oh.
super excited. I'm super excited for that toy to come out.
Yes, us too. This will be dropping pretty soon.
Oh,
So,
thanks.
I'm showing the screen. It's not there anymore.
I found it.
Oh, here he is. This one suffered some shelf damage.
Oh, that's an OG.
Yeah.
Pretty.
He has a break, but we still love him.
What?
Oh no.
Nobody knows that happened.
He's still pretty.
Only I know that happened.
He's still very pretty.
Nice. That's the old ones. There's a new version of the shelf ghosts now. It's a little bit,
Whoa.
yeah, slightly bigger, and
Yeah.
it has like my imprint on it.
Nice.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
It's a little more smooth now.
Love it.
Dope.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
That's awesome. So I have one more question, which is, how do you deal with the pressures of being a female artist and social media? So, you know, everybody has to use social media, the best way to sell their art. But I feel like as a female artist, it's extra pressure to go onto Instagram and to look a certain way and pose a certain way and show your art and use your sex appeal to sell your art, which, you know, is the pressure of social media. How do you navigate that? How do you feel about that?
So I would say that I've kind of navigated social media very purposefully without using my face very much.
Yeah.
I actually tried to stay off camera as much as possible, and I think it in part it goes back to like my experience back when I worked at the comic book store, actually, because in a comic book store, and at that time I was cuter, like, for, you know, I guess. but
You're amazingly cute now. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay, thank you. but like, you know, at that time it was definitely like, you know, that FaceTime I definitely couldn't hide, right? So it was like, I think as I got older and I realized like I could sense that there would be maybe some pressure or some I don't know what's the word, impact on like how how much, who's here for the art versus who's here because of like what I look like or something. So I kind of wanted to stay away from any expectations of that, because it really, in my opinion, shouldn't have anything to do with what I'm making or what I'm creating, and what I'm putting out into the world. So like it was really important to me that my work shines first and foremost. And, you know, once I feel like at this point I've really established that. So now that that's kind of really been the case, I'm a little more comfortable showing my face a little more. But now there's also like other like sort of like little things I've noticed, that like I had a certain following that was surprisingly more male than female. And I think it's in part because it's not more, it was actually like more 50-50. But I think it's in part because like people just didn't know if I was a dude or what.
Right.
Yeah. So I found like it's been interesting to navigate now that like a little more people are starting to realize that, oh, Mumbot is not a dude.
Right.
And then even weirder.
Wouldn't that be a weird name for a dude?
I didn't understand the Mumbot thing until the last conversation we had.
It's
so
true.
It was
I didn't
like
actually put it together with mum,
No.
but still.
But even weirder, like, you know, just like having, again, like, you know, your digital identity versus like who you are in real life. That's all very interesting, you know, like, oh, you're a mom also. Oh, that changes my perspective of you, you know.
Right. Have you ever had a negative experience being a female artist? Has that ever been an issue for you, or something you've never really come across?
I don't think I've really had. I wouldn't say I've never had any. I mean, I've actually, like, you know, in the past, I've felt like I tried to stay ahead of it. Like one of the times, like this is a couple years ago, but one of the times where I was like, back when I was doing like some window art and sign art and stuff, I had an interaction with a business owner, and I could feel that he was like, I could tell by the way he was speaking to his employee that he was pretty, I don't know, just sexist. I don't know how else to say it. I don't know a diplomatic way to say that. So it was very uncomfortable. And so like the next time that I knew that I was gonna go be in that guy's presence, I hired like a male assistant, and I had like a whole strategy of like how to deal with this guy, and I just stayed ahead of it so that and it worked. Like there were, every time that like he wanted to say something to us, he would just only speak to my assistant. He wouldn't speak to me, even though I was.
Can we tell that story?
No.
We don't have to tell. We have a similar story. We don't have to name names.
No.
But we used to
I
design
had a very
websites.
Similar experience.
And so there was one time where we went into a company, and so I'm generally the like guy who's like, "Hey, we can do this for you," and they're like, "Great, you're hired." And then I'm like, "Cool, meet the brains." Then I bring Miranda in to the meeting, and Miranda will ask a question, and then they'll turn to me and answer the question. But Miranda's
no, it's the other way around. They would ask a question, I would answer it, and then
they
they'll
would,
like,
huh?
And ask you the question
and
again.
then turn to me, and it was like.
But it's not that I've experienced that a lot. But when you do experience it, it's quite a shocking like wall to bump against, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I've had it where actually not too long ago. I mean, there was another scenario where every time I realized that I had interfaced with someone in the beginning through a video chat, and they saw me, and I didn't like. It was like they didn't have any information really. They didn't have any preconceived notion of who I was. They didn't know much about me, and it was really interesting because that kind of set the tone for the rest of my experience with them, until I finally was like, my husband is like, gonna have to be a part of this. Like I had him like the manager guy, and like really he helped a lot. It was like him, like he scheduled it was like crunch time, and he scheduled the meeting, and like it was like immediately just like so much more understanding and respect. It was like really interesting how, I mean, I don't know if that was purposeful. It could have just been that the guy was really tired throughout all my interactions. I don't want to assume anything. All I know is that when I made a strategic decision to like, okay, I'm gonna have my husband help here. Like, please intercept in this situation, just in the pure reason I need things to get done. Period.
Right.
And it literally worked. So I don't know what to say. Like, and there's been times where people don't know that I'm like, this. They just see the ghost, they just see Mumbot, and things get done too. And so like, and that's really nice. It's nice to be able to navigate without any kind of like weird biases or anything that can occur,
I mean, that's an interesting point to take back to the NFT discussion, is that it's your, representation online is whoever you want it to be.
Yeah.
So the gender roles don't really play the same way. So that's interesting.
And just to be fair, like I've had such a great balanced amount of support from a female and male audience, like such a great balanced amount of support. And so like, those few moments, I mean, it's kind of, that's why like I had to dig, like I had to really think, because I do feel like I've had like the way, I don't think it's just also like that I am not, I guess, or that I'm a little ambiguous. I think it's also just the way I have chosen to present myself. It's the way professionally, and I'm not like again, like I'm very purposeful in my intention of like sharing my art and my world, and it's not just for one type of person. It's for so many different types of people. I really want to have something that it appeals to a male audience, a female audience, whoever, like any kind of whatever you identify as. I want it to be, enjoyable to you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I took you into a really heavy place. I'm sorry, but it's just an interesting conversation to have, because I think there's that pressure there, and it would be nice to get away from that pressure and just have a nice even playing field a little bit more. I think because there's also less female artists that are as successful as the male, especially in our world, that there's a little bit of added pressure. Is like, how do you compete with that? So that's one way to compete. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I'm not shaming anybody or saying that it's a bad thing to do. I'm just having a conversation about it.
Yeah, I think it's also I think it's important too though, like if you feel like maybe you're not thought of, you know, like don't be afraid to say something. Like not in a negative way, but like say like, you know, hey, like, you know, I think we forget sometimes like we have the power to make things happen. Like we all have the power to make things happen. So,
Yeah.
you know, you might feel like you're not being seen over here or over here. Like you have the ability to just be like, hey, next time you're having like a show, can you like remember me? Think of me.
Yes, yes.
And like people are really busy. So like, hey, maybe they have like this long queue and they didn't think of you and just be like, hey, like you have a show coming up. I saw it. Like, don't forget me. Like, I'm really interested. Like, don't be afraid to kind of put yourself out there and, you know, make it
100%.
known. Like
100%. I think that's very. I mean, it's very true of us. Is that it's there's so many artists out there, and you have to try and find new people is really difficult. So the more people that can reach out and say, hey, hello, that's awesome.
yeah.
Totally encourage that.
Yeah.
It's
Don't be
fidget
afraid to promote like yourself, put yourself out there, promote your work and
creative should never be judged by their gender. True. I know when I've assisted muralists who are women, passers-by think I'm the one in charge. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Yeah.
Cool.
Is it time? It's almost time. It's almost 9:00.
Yeah, we're coming up on that 3-hour mark.
Yeah.
I feel like you guys gave me so much energy. I was so tired before.
Oh,
Are you ready to go?
good. Yeah, I'm definitely I'm ready to go now too. And I
Cool.
was feeling like,
But likewise though, I feel so inspired by everything that you said tonight. I'm gonna start collecting NFTs now. I don't know what happened before. I was like, now I'm just like, fuck yeah, NFT train this guy right here.
That's awesome. Definitely come to anybody who wants to come to Ghost Club. Definitely just hit me up. And also, you know what I mean? Like we have just so many talented artists in there, and they're in there working regularly. And we have another Black Book collection drop coming up soon. But just in general, like we love to like help, give information if anyone needs about all kinds of things. So like it's like a golden pool. It's like the Legend of Zelda fairy pool area, but like of knowledge and like creativity.
I love that. It's amazing.
Right. Yeah, I'm into that.
Mumbot part 3. Yeah, exactly.
All about it. All about it. We're just gonna keep it going.
I think we could do Mumbot Part 3 as part of trivia night.
Oh, that's true. We could. We want to do a trivia night. That's our next plan.
Oh, that's fun.
Giveaways and trivia. So yeah. Well, thank you again for an amazing discussion and educating us on things that we have no idea about, which is
True.
just awesome.
Or we think we have an idea, but we wrong.
Don't. Thank you, Artiq Fox, for coming and showing us your stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you, Susie. Thank you, Maya Tanaka. I wasn't sure whether to call you Alex or Maya Tanaka, so my brain
whichever.
went like crazy. If you're watching, subscribe, like. Thank you for joining the conversation. It was really great to read all your comments. We'll be back next week. Same. Is it next week? We're not on a Thursday.
I think
we're doing another day next week, but we are here.
We'll figure it out.
So we'll let you know what day. Yeah. And
Awesome.
keep collecting toys and being awesome and follow these amazing people.
Awesome.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you,
Well,
everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night
Good
out there.
night.
Good night, Toy
Bye.
fam.
Bye, Toy fam. Bye.
Good night.